Hey guys, I think we're live, so say hi in the chat if you're about. I'm just sorting out the last few bits before we start looking into the Heat Blast as a Diamondhead Kaiju for today's live stream. Tegan says hello. Minecraft Transformers, hey, how's it going? Necron Raven, hi. Sam, hi as well. Just getting some reference images up. Hello, Venomized Toothless. Yeah, just getting some reference images up. Heat Blast isn't too difficult to kind of find and do a reference image off, but I want a kind of a kaiju one as we look at it. Just trying to think what would be a cool kaiju. Robotic Artist 27. Glad to know you have appeared. I was wondering if there's any cool fire kaiju designs that already exist. We know we've got Godzilla and our Diamond Head one that we've got, the Crystal Diamond Defender, and I probably pronounced it wrong, but you can see it on screen. Trying to figure out what to do. Make it like a living sun. Rodon, that might be an interesting one. Or Rodan. We've got an advert already. Oh, that's that flying bird type one, isn't it? Maybe we could do him like a bird type dragon version. Just more with Heat Blast, kind of like rocky design on top of it. That might work. Hello, Zenith. Beans to you and all. Beanicus Maximus. It could be a new Transformer, that one. I said, guys, I'm literally just sorting out what's happening, and then we'll sort that. Just looking for kind of like a good reference image of probably Rodon. Jericho Gary says this should be fun. It should be. Also, I'm back. Welcome back. Hello, Matthew. Oh, that sounds really cool, Venomized Toothless. Just to let you know, I'm drawing a She-Venom design right now. Nice. Give me a second. Just doing a quick search. Oh, I see the one that you're on about. That huge, like, yeah, no, that's quite cool. We could potentially do something with that. Yes, it has been a while. And you voted for upgrade. Nice. I'm gonna let the poll run for a while throughout the stream, and then we'll see what happens. I know accelerate is a good one. I'd wanted to try and vary it a bit before I do accelerate. I think that's going to be an interesting kaiju. I need to figure out what to do for that one, because that's going to be quite interesting. Just gonna sort my brush sizes out a bit before we get started. I've also added a live sub count to the top of the stream, so as it increases we can celebrate that a little bit as the stream goes along. Probably only for the Ben 10 ones. Maybe if I do another live stream I'll keep that on there. But I thought it'd be quite a nice little feature to have. Welcome back, Omega Prime. That's fine, food is more important than a stream, but welcome back all the same. I do appreciate it. Necromaven says that they finished their Hive of the Council of Madness. I think that's all your OCs, isn't it? That's quite cool. Right, so I think we need to get a general... Let's see if I can find a nice pose for this. Kind of want to do a... Yeah, it's kind of like a giant beak on like a giant beak with horns on top of the head on like a dragon-like body. So that'd be quite interesting. Venomized Toothless, that's not a bad idea actually. Accelerate should definitely be one of those kaijus that are small but extremely deadly like Mothra. Good shout. Is the music loud enough? Do you need it turned up a little bit? I know it's a bit, well, it's a bit echoey where I am. I need to sort some sound panels at some point this year, but hopefully the sound and that's all good. Tegan, you're more than welcome to pet them at your own risk. Can I pet the kaijus? I don't know why. I just think they'd be a little bit more happier if someone petted them. Maybe they just need some attention and, you know, some good vibes. Noxie's drawing a robotic dragon that looks like Dragonstorm from Transformers. Oh, that's pretty cool. Hey Justin, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. We're just sorting out a bit of research materials and doing the welcomes, and then we'll get started into the actual drawing. I don't know if this will be a painting style before you ask it. It's probably going to be that mix that we did like with the last one. The base will have a bit more of a paintery colour scheme, but with the more solid lines from the inking. Just trying to find some reference images. I think we're going to go for like a flying type like rodent, and then just see what happens. So let's try and get a basic pose in. I kind of want to do a... Let's just get this pose in and see how that looks. Obviously this is just like really quick getting a pose in just to try and figure out proportions and stuff, really, just to see how it goes, because it's... Justin, I will at some point once we've done the original 10. It's a good question you've got there, actually. If we're going to do Kaiju Heat Blasts, will its predator still be around, the Crab Dozer? Yes, we're probably going to do the original 10 Ben 10 aliens to start with. Then maybe Kevin 11, because I did say I would probably do that with a mishmash of the characters of the Kaijus once we've drawn them. And then what we'll do after that is we will look to do some of the predators from the series, which would be quite good. Crazy for a day, you're not late. We've probably been going for about 10 minutes, and we're just getting started with some rough pose sketching, so pretty much bang on time, and welcome to the stream. What kaiju is HEATBLAST? HEATBLAST is going to be kind of like the Rodan, the flying type. It's almost like a flying dragon or wyvern style type, with more of a beak to the head. So that'd be quite interesting to do. Yeah, the Predatrix aliens. I think that'd be quite cool to do as a follow-on series once we've got the originals out the way. I think that'll work quite nicely with the way that the series goes and that. 17 votes on the poll. Ghost Freak. Yeah, I think we'll end the poll now, and we'll Ghost Freak's the winner. So Ghost Freak will be the next one that we do on a stream when we do them. It's kind of the whole lizardy. I will change some of the aspects of this creature up a little bit from once it's kind of been drawn. I will change some of these features up. I just want to get a basic kind of like flying bird wyvern pose in. I think once we've got that done and we start adding details, it'll be a bit more interesting. The Nematrix, you mean? Yeah, you're probably right, Crazy for a Day. Justin says, out of the Predatrix aliens, I believe there's only 2 that has predators in the Predatrix Ditto and HEATBLAST, if I can remember correctly. Not sure. I thought it had all of them, but we only saw a few of them. There was kind of like most of them in there. I kind of want to do a you know how they've got that weird pose to them? With the wings, they kind of come down really weirdly. Bit more of a I'll work out the hands in a minute. I'm kind of just getting a gotta get a few bits of these out the way. But Necron Raven says, I sent you a picture of the members of the Hive of Council of the Council. Okay, so you've sent some pictures of them. Okay. Are any of them for the actual original character redraw that we're doing this month that I should bear in mind, or are they just sending them because they're the Hive of Council and you're showing them? Prime. Name for it, Blazing Seeker. That's not a bad name. Noxy, that's not a problem. Get some coffee. Just leave the stream going and, you know, do whatever you need to do in the background. The original set of Predators. Possibly. I'm sure there's other ones, but we can probably find that out later on to find out which ones to do. No, for the redraw video. So for the community redraw, because you can only have one character for the redraw, and Necron Raven's already been drawn before, so which one out of the other 4 is your submission? That we need to know for this redraw then. Just so I know which one's which, because I think you've sent all 5 through by the sounds of things. So gonna need to know which one's which to be done, otherwise it's gonna be a bit difficult to figure out. which one's been done for the actual redraw this month. If they get selected. I will stress if they get selected, because with the redraws, there's probably about 2 that get picked up straight away. Usually if they're new, I might pick 2 new ones straight away, and then the rest get randomly selected once they're narrowed down. Making it fair for everybody, really. Guess that's what we got to do. Gotta be fair for everybody. Okay, Necromaven, you're saying the 5 pictures are not for the redraw, so I'm getting slightly confused. Have you sent... So you're saying you've sent a character in for the redraw, or you've not sent them in for the redraw? I'll tell you what, just put yes or no. Are you doing the redraw this month? Just so I know if they need to count to, any of them need to count towards it or not. Is that iron treads behind you? No. He says, looking over his shoulder. No, okay, that's fine. Just so I know that they're not in for the submission, that's not a problem then. I need to be able to tell what's going on and what's kind of for what. Otherwise, it gets a bit confusing. So... Are they for anything in particular, or are they just, you're sending them in just for me to see your OC council? Because I think it's quite cool you've got 5 characters designed. I have to say, designing characters is sometimes one of the harder things to do. It works, it's really, really tricky at times to just sort that out and to go through that. But yeah, also Omega Prime, stupid legs and Wi-Fi. Not much. We've just been nattering a bit and just trying to get a basic pose kind of figured out. So you haven't missed much at all, if anything. Probably just a bit of the sketching and a bit of nattering. But yeah, if you're dropping in and out, then I appreciate as much time as you can. You know, you can actually get on the stream. And if it's too bad, don't stress about it and stuff. It's just one of them things. Technical issues happen all the time for everybody. But I hope that you can do something with them for my birthday on May the 29th. I don't know if that's going to be a day a video comes out on, and I'm not sure. Not sure on that. I'm not doing any promises for anyone's birthdays or anything. It just depends on what's going on in the month, and if it falls right with what's happening, then brilliant. If it doesn't, then yeah, it's just one of them things. Usually, I think the only things I've done on birthdays on the channel were commissions a couple of years back for a couple of people, and those were kind of like paid commissions, which were quite nice to have, but it was only because I had no content at the channel at the time. But yeah. Oh, Ben, it's a Monday. Fair enough. Noxy says, finished my robotic dragon. Awesome. Ben also says, well, HEATBLAST being rodent-like is actually cool. Yeah, I think if it's rodent-like, it's quite cool. Sorry, I just seen Omega Prime's message come in going, sacrifice YouTube to the crystalline diamond defender. Sacrifice, 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 sacrifice. Yes, Venomized Toothless. I completely agree. I don't drink coffee, but a long sip of coffee, because it's a Monday. I do need to sort out Friday's video, actually. Potentially, it's going to be the second one of a series that was started over Christmas. Or bringing back some SCPs or something. It's going to be SCP related for Friday. I just haven't decided which one it's going to be to finish off sorting the bits for that. But that's not a problem. That's just how things go. Right, I think
we've got the basic shape in, but I do think we kind of need this upper body to be somewhat larger. It doesn't feel quite Kaiju enough. Maybe a bit bigger, but and then maybe this tail needs to be a bit longer. That's going to need some form of bit long, just to give the original. Basically, I'm sketching in the Kaiju version of Rodon in just roughly for a fair amount of stuff, just so that we can, from a reference image I've seen, just that we can try and get a few bits of detail in, and then we will look to make this an actual proper fusion of HEATBLAST and a Kaiju, which it's all good fun. Noxy, yeah, it's always the Mondays. Just Kaiju mode is basically Berserk mode for Ben at this moment. Yeah, it's kind of like when he got a cold. Maybe he's got another virus or something, and the Omnitrix just goes gigantic form or something. Necrom says, what one is your favourite from the Hive of the Council of Madness? I haven't actually had a proper look at them. I know there's some emails that have come through, but I haven't actually looked at them. I haven't had the time yet to do that. I will have a look after the stream. Justin suggests SCP as cakes. That will be a very interesting video if we do that. Oh, I like that name, Nemesis 80k. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Sam Kelly says, when I do another Transform video, do you mean Transformers? There will be one coming up in February. I do need to do another something as Transformers or another Venomized Transform episode. It's been a while since I've done anything on that multiverse story arc. So February definitely is going to have some in. That would be an interesting piece. If I did that, I will probably do that as a digital painting, similar to the Pokemon ones I've been doing and the Venomized Pearl Express. I think that would probably be the best way of doing it. Alright, so I think we've got enough of these details in. So I think what we need to do is start adding a few HEATBLAST type things in, just to get that working. Heatbat for... Oh, yeah. That's not a bad point, actually. They did do that, didn't they? Animo stole the Omnitrix. Is that the one that we're thinking about? Oh my god, this is... Yeah, I see what you mean. That's quite an interesting concept. I won't copy it, but... No, I get what you mean with where the flames and stuff are. Interesting. I might come back to that one in a bit. That's not a bad idea, Crazy for a Day. That's not a problem, Zenith. Art is always good. Transformers as Digimon. That could be cool. Or Digimon as Transformers might be quite an interesting one as well. Yeah, Digiformers would be quite an interesting one. Could call it Blaze Wing, possibly. We might have to do a poll at some point with that. Yeah, Justin, but Animo got a hold of the, like I say, he used the DNA from the Omnitrix on the faceplate and was changing Crazy
crazy animals, which is quite good. Let's see. Alright, so HEATBLAST's eyes. I definitely want to take the eye design of HEATBLAST and drop that in here. Because they've got that rather cool slit in it that can come down into kind of like the part of this beak structure and just give that really cool effect. Oh, that's a good question. Zenith says, which way of lighting HEATBLAST do you prefer? The heavy black like in Alien Force, or more natural lighting like in the original series? I prefer the OG series style. I do like the black bit from Alien Force sometimes for the design, but I like to see a bit more of it. So the lighter style that we had from the original series with a few bits of black were really cool. It just varies of what's happening on it. Guess whichever one looks really cool in the scene is my first choice. Omega Prime, I will be doing another Subnautica video. Or Subnautica Transformers Part 2 needs to be done as well. Yeah, possibly Digimon as Transformers. I've got a few ideas on the list. I will probably do either Digimon as Transformers or Subnautica creatures as Transformers, because I did promise a second one of that a while back. One of those two. How overpowered would you say light manipulation would be? Depending on the ability of the actual one who can do the light manipulation. Massively. I mean, in theory, with light manipulation, you can absorb heat, you can refract and give off more heat, making it like a heat ray. You could make solid objects out of light particles. You can make transparent objects out of it, illusions. I mean, we're talking something really insanely insane on that. No, we've already had a Ben 10 attack the Department of Multiversal Matters. This one would just destroy half the place. The last one was trouble enough. And that's just with the Venomized versions. Or the SCP ones. No, Demons. Ben 10 is Demons that was, wasn't it? That was it. Noxy, I haven't done Grimlock Venomized yet. I've drawn a Grimlock ages ago on the channel as part of a birthday commission. And I have done the Grimlock versus Soundwave illustration. I haven't done a Venomized version yet. In fact, that's the one that was waiting for the next part of the Multiverse story arc. Omega Prime, are you on about the Ninetales Fox from Pokemon, from Folklore, or from Naruto? Because that'll depend if I look behind. Justin, I did think of something similar to what you're thinking there. At one point, I did think about doing a redraw or something where people can design fan art of me. That'll be the avatar for the channel. My little profile bit. But I haven't quite gotten around to that bit yet. Yeah, Venomized Toothless Body Projection would be another one. Ben, there is that is in the works as well. When I get to doing some demon ones, I moved away from it slightly, just because we were doing a lot of demon stuff at the time. But now that we've got a few core story plot bits out the way, I am happy to potentially bring them back in slightly with
some more being done or worked on. I will add more details to these kaiju bits in a little bit. I just want to get the rough... I know it's looking more cartoony at the moment, but it will work out in the end. Well, that was an unexpected advert. I apologise for anybody on that. Yeah, it would be actually powerful. Oh yes, Ben. Most of the demon ones, other than the odd creature, the one where it makes sense to be another character, because they're an expert on... Like Ehrenfold's more the expert on phobias as dragons, even though phobias can be classed as maybe demons-ish. Ehrenfold's an expert on dragons, so he's encountered them. Like in the last video, I think like dinosaurs as demons would be Dino Dinoclaw, but it could also be Demonica joining in. So I quite like the idea of doing that. Sam says the kaiju looks amazing. Thank you. I'm getting there slowly with this one. I do take a bit more time on these lives than... Well, it varies. Sometimes I take a bit more time on the lives compared to the other bits, and sometimes it's just a case of it does take a bit longer to do them. But once I've got this basic bit in, I'll add details on the inking stage over the top, because I just want to block more the kaiju effect. Because we're going to end up with the flames coming around the head. Let's have a look. Ah, cool, Noxie. You got a snake. Nice. Possibly. There is the potential of people submitting original characters and I do something with them. Someone's got your SCP characters as one. We've got a fusion of original characters as another. And then we could have a teams, like you build a team of 2 or 3, but that might limit down how many submit because of the fact that it's teams might have to be planned ahead of time. Ghost Rider is pretty cool, I do agree, Tegan. I've just seen What About Ghost Rider Omega. I didn't catch the rest of it. Thank you, Crazy for a Day. Did you see the list of phobias we had from... I can't remember what they changed their name to. It used to be Ben Gaming from the icon. But no, I appreciate you think the Phobia Dragons were 10 out of 10. They were really fun to do. I've got most of my background on the thing at the moment. But yeah, no, it was definitely a fun one to do that episode. I really enjoyed it. And I've got a list of like 40, 50 phobias to do. Just from that one video. If you look in the comments, it's insane. But it's awesome. Let's make that chat a bit taller so I can see more. Hey, Galahound19. Welcome to the stream. Hey, do you remember that episode where Ben 10 went back in time, lost touch to Gwen and Max, and they started a series of nothing happened? Yeah, and she was better. Gwen was way better at being a superhero of the Omnitrix than Ben. That was quite fun, little spin. Yeah, crazy for a day. I tell you what, that's fueled that series for the next, I don't know, 10 videos I could do on that throughout the year. That's absolutely, I love it. It's amazing when you guys kind of like come up with suggestions and I have a look at them. I do want to do something with Street Fighter, and I know Popcross has done Street Fighter and Spider-Man or something today. It's come out. I don't know what he's called it, but it looked like it was Street Fighter characters as if they were in the Spider-Verse, which is quite cool. Yes, I am thinking of making it lava or some kind of interesting tongue design from that. It would either be lava or it would be the super hot plasma like the hands. I tell you what, I may draw that one day, but that'll be like a 4-day live stream. I would do that live and then do that. Tegan, yes, and I will let people know claustrophobia and arachnophobia will be in the next Phobias as Dragons video, because I have promised them for a while now. Arachnophobia is definitely going to be in it, and claustrophobia. It's a bit trickier to design that dragon, but it's going to be going in there. I have put in the comments those two are in a future video, and I'm planning to put them into the next one. But then I'll do 2 or 3 more, usually 2, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, Justin, the Gwen one was my least favourite, but it was one of the funny ones. Shade Hunter, hey ho, how's it going? Oh yeah, Galahad 19. I agree. It was just a random filler type episode or something that they did. It made no sense whatsoever. It was absolutely insanely. It just didn't make any sense, really. It was one of those ones where you're like, wait, have they done? Yeah, they've done this. Why have they done this? It was fun, but it wasn't one that I kind of. It wasn't my favourite one out of the originals. Yeah, that was also quite cool to see some of the variants of them. Yeah, it could be. Well, you get a bit of vibes of the HEATBLAST dragon, but don't forget, I also did my own Pyronite dragon in one of the dragons videos, Ben 10 Aliens as Dragons. I think Erenfold was talking about that one. I'm not sure. Sam says, I'm drawing my own My Hero Academia OC at the moment. Nice. I've been watching a few animes lately to more the magical ones to get a 5 for some of the fantasy characters. I've had some suggestions on the Discord of doing like some anime OCs as mech armors and stuff. So I've been pretty much just looking at a few of them just to see what kind of vibe I can get from it. Just to kind of make a few things work in with that kind of storyline and design, which would be rather interesting. Zenith, that would be an actual super interesting one to turn into a dragon, wouldn't it? The fear of dragons as a dragon. I mean, do we follow Monster Zero from, you know, just do a Hydra on a dragon, or do we just do something that's like a Ditto, multiple dragons? But that'd be quite an interesting one. I'm assuming Draconophobia is the fear of dragons. The name kind of normally says it, but that'd be quite cool. So Galahad 19, we're probably going to do at least 8 of them, and we're on number 4. So there's about 4 more to do before we can do Kevin 11 as a Mega Kaiju, because we won't have enough to do parts of the body all over. I know we could do a couple of them, but I would like to have more to play around with. I've got to let that play. I'll tell you what, Ben. I know you're joking. Is that a Xenomorph Crabdozer behind me? But Ben 10 Aliens fused with Xenomorphs would be... Oh. That would be a new series, wouldn't it? That'd be insane. Galahan19 says, so, Dempsey, what's your favourite Ben 10 episode? Oh, that's a very tough one. Are we just going on episodes, or can we add movies and stuff into it as well? Because I kind of got a feeling that if we add the movies into it, it's going to be a bit difficult to do. I think my favourite one out the original series is... let me think. I generally think it's the one where he had the cold and they did the reverse versions, like HEATBLAST shot ice instead of fire and stuff. Just because I like the idea that they spun it all around a little bit on the episode, on the original one. In terms of later on, like Alien Force and that, I did like the one where... oh, which one was it? I like the one where they did, when they showed Gwen's full transformation from spells to it's actually the alien DNA on her from the manor, and then the kind of like her college and stuff on later on versions. But yeah, it's kind of hard to say about watching them all again, but those two stick into my head more. Crazy for a Day, I might do 2 versions. I'm thinking of, because you've asked, will Kevin be made from only the original 10, or will it be a more custom amalgam? I think what I'd like to do is do the original 10 as the first kaiju one, and maybe do an alternate form out of other kaiju. I have got it on the list. In all honesty, I haven't even had a chance to sit down and look at doing something like that one yet. But that is definitely on the list of doing something similar to that. I did like the idea of doing something with My Hero Academia, and the kind of like demigod ones is quite cool. Figuring out which ones I'm going to fuse them all with, though, is definitely going to be a bit more interesting to figure out. But yeah. Oh, I have a question for everybody. If I decided to, I haven't got anywhere near it. I'm not going to make a channel out of it. But would you guys like to see maybe if I did the process of attempting an animation in Procreate? I mean, we use it for drawing. It's got an animation feature. Yes, no. I tell you what though, it would be a proper project that I'd have to plan out. That'll be later on for everybody, because that's going to be insane. But it's kind of cool and be something nice to learn, but I'm not sure. That's not a problem, Venomized Toothless. I hope you have a good time at a birthday party. Nox says, imagine memes as dragons. Well, not dragons, sorry, memes as demons. Memes as dragons would be quite cool, though. Tegan's got a question. I like doing Tegan's questions time to time. How do you not make your characters not overpowered? Because I have a list of power that Morena could have. The only thing have is shapeshifting. It doesn't matter if they're overpowered. Think of it this way: what weakness, or how would your other characters beat that overpowered one? It's like with Deception Under the Mistletoe. I could have made it really simple that Nexum just sent every single one that appeared into another dimension, like he did with that Guzzlord mech. But then they're overpowered. Nexum then becomes overpowered, whereas he may have done that on one episode, but there's nothing to say that he'd do that all the time, or if he could do that on some of them, because they had abilities like teleporting. So think of if they've got a personality that can be exploited to make them mess up, or if they've got a weakness. So for example, Omen Heart, they had the Omen Star Cyber Storm Dragon, but the weakness of that dragon in the lore was peanut butter, and they suggested maybe the Department of Multiverse of Matters just had hundreds of thousands of drones with peanut butter leading it away, and that they actually put a weakness in for their character that could teleport and fire elements out and do all these almost insane overpowered things. So it's kind of thinking out what weakness you want and what variance you want to have, or a limit. Pretty much what Venomized Toothless said, like a limit. So can they only use it for a certain amount of time on their powers? Is there a recoil? Is there something that happens if they use it too much? Yeah, Justin, it would be taxing on my time mentally doing it, but an animation procreate might be something I'll look to do by the end of the year. It wouldn't be anything soon, but yeah, it would be super tedious, but I kind of want to give it a go, because when I was younger I wanted to be an animator. That branched off to being more of an artist as time went on, but yeah, it's just pretty much that whole concept really of potentially doing it and seeing what happens. Obviously I might just do a few basic animations and plug the final time lapse or something for it on, and then not record it all to start with. Similar with the digital paintings that I'm doing, like the Pokemon. I tend to put them as time lapses and that to get a feel if people want to see it before I do a bit more info on it. But at the same time, it's also practice, because I want to be able to, if I do record the screen properly in that, I kind of want to have, I want to be confident in what I'm doing, otherwise they'll take a lot of time to do. Noxy, I have an idea for something with Monster Hunter. I need to flesh out a few bits just to see if I can make it a bit interesting, but yeah, Monster Hunter's been on the list for several months now. I just have not had the chance to flesh stuff out. It's a problem when you get so many series and awesome ideas from everybody. I am jumping back up because Shade Hunter suggested regional variants of the Helmon. I'm going to go one better. At some point, I wouldn't mind doing paradox versions, like with Scarlet and Violet. So a prehistoric version of the Helmon and a futuristic version. That would be quite cool. Yeah, Galahound, it would be quite fun. It would be quite stressful. I'd have a couple goes with it, but I've seen someone animate a whole like intro bit, like a proper animation, like a good 5 seconds per frame, like a 20-second clip. They cut it down obviously and they sped a lot up, but it would just been absolutely insane. Still quite cool. Noxy, the 65 movie? You might have to give a bit more information. I'll be able to answer that. I've seen a few trailers going around for stuff that I like the look of, but I haven't actually seen any that I'm... Well, I've seen a few, like the Mario one's quite cool, and there's a few from over Christmas I want to watch, but yeah, just give a bit more info on that one, just to make sure we're all on the same page, if you can do. As long as it's suitable for chat. Narrators fused with their fears. That's an interesting one. Yeah, maybe that one could have a dragon. It's not a bad idea, taking some of the phobias as demons, the peanut butter one, and turning that into a dragon. I do want to keep some of them. Now that we've done a few episodes, I don't mind going back and doing some of the ones that Popcross has done. I know I've had a couple in there, but I wanted to differentiate them a little bit, because it's as much as it is super fun to do the demons and to or you know, the phobias as demons like he does, and as dragons like I do. I don't want to just be doing the same ones, because it would seem like I'm just copying it, if that makes sense. I kind of like the idea of having a couple the same, but the rest are other phobias that might not have been covered, or interesting ones, like the fear of string. I just thought was quite funny and put that in there because it's that. But my favourite one, which was the most random one, was the I quite liked the fear of nothingness. You know, a void, like just. You could have so much fun playing mentally on people with that fear. It's what your mind gets into or brings out, which is like quite an interesting one. Monster Hunters mech armors. Yeah, Ben, I did actually think about that. I'm also thinking of Monster Hunters or other characters from series as Monster Hunter creatures and doing more realistic versions of those characters as monsters. We'll see. Necron Raven suggested the Hive of the Council of Madness versus the Department of Multiverse Matters. Which one do you think will win? I'll say my one will win. I think it would be a long... That wouldn't be a simple versus. That would probably turn out to be a full-scale war. If you think about it, the Department of Multiverse Matters has technology like Nexum to send to other dimensions. And unless all of your characters are super overpowered, like Necron Raven's original form, with the immune to injury and doesn't age, so basically immortal, there's not much you can do other than send them to another dimension to sort them out. Which might be quite fun. I missed Venomized 2 for saying it, but I will catch you later if you see the stream bit, and I hope you have a good time. Omega Prime, do you know what Soma is? Now, do you mean Soma or Sona? So, Sona is like a persona. Soma is the main character from Food Wars. Shoko... what's it? Is it basically, Food Wars is an awesome anime and series, but yeah. But yeah, it depends on which one you meant. Shade Hunter, for reference, Dempsey, that was to the Ben 10 as Pokemon comment. Yeah, but it could be quite fun. Oh, I haven't seen that. I'll have to look that up. That sounds actually quite interesting, having an alien dinosaur movie come out. Yeah, that sounds right. That's like something I would love to see, in all honesty. That would be quite cool. Yeah, Ben, get me an idea for a series. Be sure to put that in the comments, though, on this video or another one or somewhere, just to remind me. Crazy for a day. That's not a bad idea. I do want to do... Actually, I'm going to jot that down. Kaiju. I'll put that down on the list because that would be quite a fun one. I think that would do quite well. I do like that one. Yeah, so having people make their own versions of either the Ultimate Aliens or some kind of creature and I turn it into a Kaiju. I'd have to say, though, you couldn't make it as a Kaiju and part of the rules for it, because if you make it too Kaiju-like, I can't do anything with it. Galahound 19, that is on the list for this year. Yu-Gi-Oh! Mech Armors. As I say, I've been a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! For absolutely ages since it first came out, and I used to play it at college many years ago. I went in there and we used to set up, so instead of having like 4 players battle each other, we had 8 players at one point. I joined partway through to make it 8. And we did one fair thing with the rules is with Magical Cylinder, we made it so you could choose the target it redirects to rather than everybody, just to be fair and give them a chance. I joined and I had 1,000 life points to be able to join, and they let me join with 1,000 life points while they had the full 8,000. I'm not gonna lie, I bluffed my way through the first round. I used my only defensive cards to stop their attack. They didn't bother attacking me for the rest of the game. I have to say my deck was overpowered at the time and I did win, but I fluked it. If they'd attacked me one more in the next round, I'd have been wiped out at the start. But it's a good game, so Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters are definitely going into stuff, especially like mech armors. Galhow 19. It must be nice, Dempsey, instead of racking your brain for ideas, you have fans thinking of it. Oh yeah, it's like the comment I said. It's absolutely fantastic. Ha! Look, little pun there. It's absolutely amazing and fantastic that you guys come up with all these ideas based on stuff I've done. And then if I think it's something you guys want to see, like there's enough interest in the comments or in the chat on here, it gets a higher priority. So basically, if you guys can get something with a really high like rate or suggestion, and loads of people to comment it, or comment on that comment about it saying they like it, or a lot of like the thumbs up next to the comment, you got a higher chance of me using it in a video. Shade Hunter, so the Discord server is in the description of all my videos, or most of them, and there is a link in the channel banner on the actual page itself. There should be one in this video description somewhere, so if you just expand it out, you should be able to find it. Doom characters as Demon and Mechs is another good one. I'm going to have to go through, and Doom and Bendy, I'm going to have to say, whack all of these on a video or something. I'm going to have to make like a short video or something for you guys to be able to just put comments on. Tegan, would you like to know the list of power ideas from around it? Yeah, go for it. Put it in the chat, see what people think. If it's going to help you out, do it. Matthew's got an idea for a community redraw. My Hero Academia as Green Lantern videos. Oh yeah, way back, the original ones. How about doing that with original characters? Oh, what, turning them into Green Lanterns? Yeah, that would be quite fun. Putting some original characters in the Lantern Corps could be quite an interesting one. That was one of my fun episodes. First, I love the art I did on that one way back when I had a certain style back then, but I like the way my style's evolved since then. But no, that's definitely a potential one that we can do. At this rate, my redraw list is going to be finished. I only need about 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe only about 4 suggestions to fill it up. Galahad19 says, "Hey Dempsey, what books do you read? Do you have any to recommend?" I don't always read books. If it's to do with like story writing and that, it's the, I think I mentioned it in the other stream. It's that The Art of Character or something by I want to say David something. This one Popcross mentioned a few times, and it says about how to design like your own characters and stuff. And I've been reading it, and it's actually really useful. Talks about how you can build them from your personal experience, or you can, you know, create some of your own and that, which is quite cool. So those would be quite interesting ones that I'd recommend on that. I also started off with books like how to draw manga and that for the anime type stuff that I can draw. I still need to work on that. It's been a while, but I'd say these are like the books for learning stuff and that. And there's a creature design book that kind of artistic kid got for Christmas. Actually, he got a really nice creature book that's got some really detailed images in. Oh, I'm an idiot. Just said it on stream. I'm an idiot. I should have borrowed that for the next. Okay, the Ghost Street Kaiju, I'm going to use creature design references from that book because I took images, but I haven't kept them. They're on my phone, which has been used to the camera up here. But no, that'd be quite cool. And the other books I read are basically comics. I like reading Manua Plus and a few others. I'm reading the something about the most advanced player of the game, which is a guy who got stuck in a tutorial for 12 years and comes out with OP stats, which is really good. Martial Peak, which is a good one. It's most of them martial arts based. Apophis, which is, oh my god, that's amazing. It's like on 800, but the artwork in that and the story is just so incredible. Tales of Demons and Gods, which is a nice one if you guys want to get gods and demon ideas. But yeah, other than that, it's I read a lot of comics throughout the day, to be honest. They come out on a regular basis. And Zul-Yun, or I think it is, or Yun-Zul, it's basically about a prince that didn't have any of this cultivation base and builds it up. But yeah, there are quite a few that I just like, and they give me ideas for stuff. But I don't read many books other than comics and the odd ones that I need, to be honest. Before that, it was like the Lord of the Rings stuff and those type of books. So I need to get into some. So if you guys got any good books, like fantasy books or steampunk or anything like that, let me know. I really need to get into a couple of them. Beans as Transformers. That would be an interesting one. I'd have to do food as Transformers. Well, Ben, he didn't actually get them ripped off. He was so close to it, but they're not allowed to seriously harm them. So, and he was unconscious. So I left it kind of like he could have had one ripped off, but it wouldn't have hurt too much. But I didn't have it like ripping the whole arm off like we were planning, because that would have been a bit gory and gruesome for Christmas. I was being nice to the narrators, even though they were getting beaten up. Galaho19 has a question. Have you ever had to deal with internet trolls and nasty comments? Yes. Yes, I had one near the end of last year, actually. It was a bit of a nasty-ish comment, and I wasn't sure what to do about it. Basically, they just called my channel a rip-off in the comments. I think they're a big Popcross fan. They called it a rip-off. So my view on dealing with comments, like from people and negative comments, I'm not going to name anybody or anything because I don't think that's right. My view is either don't engage with it because it's not worth your time, or engage with it in a positive way back. So they said that, and I pointed them to the video where Popcross in Sharpfizz and Nexum, just before he started speaking, and then to the end of the video where he did his first shout out in his first Dinosaurs as Demons, to that part of the video in the response comment. And I was quite polite. I said sorry about hearing that. I pointed them to these bits and said maybe you want to check out the channel and give it a chance. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't, but I'd rather be positive than negative. But yeah, I've had to deal with internet trolls and nasty comments, and if you're online, whether it's YouTube or anything, at some point, if you're growing a community and a fan base, you will get them, and you'll get people do that for whatever you do, whether you decide to stop something you've been doing for a few years, or if you decide that you're going to branch onto something new, or you just do content and people don't like it. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. It's just a case of how does that affect me. I'm not going to say you can't say my channel's a rip-off if that's what you feel, but at the same time, my channel's not a rip-off because I was encouraged to do what I did on my channel by the person you're saying I'm, by the content creator you're saying I'm ripping off. It's kind of a catch-22. But it's all about how you deal with it. Just if you're going to respond in a positive way, or don't respond at all. I know some people egg the trolls on to get the engagement up, but I can't be dealing with that. And if any of you guys see people being negative in the comments or anything, either don't respond or do a polite message just saying your opinion if you want to, but I'm not getting in disputes, if that makes sense. But yeah, sorry, it's into a bit of what to do if you get trolled on the internet and that, but it will happen to you at some point, and the best advice is just let it go. Life's too short to get stressed about it. Oh, excuse me, sorry. That sneeze came out of nowhere. I was not expecting that. Right, Tegan says, moving on, Tegan says the list is shape-shifting, telekinesis, mind-reading, psychic, seeing the future, teleportation, poison touch, truth stare, mind control, and shadow demons. Wow. I would say take about 3 things off that list. Any 3. But all put a limit. So, seeing into the future, I was watching Chainsaw Man. If you're old enough to watch it, great. If you're not, please don't. But one of the characters makes a pact with a demon, and they can only see a short distance, like 5 or 10 seconds into the future, like what's coming up next in the future at that moment. But they can't affect the outcome. They just know what's happening in that short amount of time, and they can only use it for so long because it's quite draining. So that could be a limitation on it that you can do. Yeah, I'm going to actually do the main wing bits down here. They're actually going to be like the plasma heat bit from HEATBLAST. I just need to get the get a shape in for it, but I'm going to turn it into like a plasma style heat bit, like that HEATBLAST bat, or that heat bat. So the wings will kind of be like that. Galahad 19, those are some good ideas for it, actually. Oh, I like that name, Omega Prime. The Possessor, that would be quite a good one. Shadow and Bone, is that the storyline that they put the Netflix series on? Because I'm waiting for the second season of that to come out, because I love the first one. I've heard about Wings of Fire a few times as well, so that'll be quite an interesting one. Wings of Fire as fantasy armors. Yeah, that'd be quite cool. Shade Hunter, I'm gonna troll the trolls. Yeah, just keep it within. Ideally, keep it within. I don't want you guys getting in trouble if you do it, so keep it within certain realms for the trolling. You know, there is a level where it's gone from, you know, you're having a laugh and it's thingy to it goes beyond that, but I can't control what you guys do. I'm not saying do it, I'm just saying I can't control it. I'm not stupid. But yeah, trolling the trolls can be fun at times. Sometimes the best way to troll them is just to actually do a really polite answer to them and don't rise to it. That really irritates them. Creative for a Day has a question. The Ghost Street Kaiju, is this the transformation or... Oh... It'll be the Ben 10 one, so I don't know if it's going to be the first simple one. Although I do like the idea of doing all the tentacles coming out the stomach, so maybe it'll be the actual full nightmare version. That breaks free. Good question, though. Shade Hunter says G rating. Omega Prime says, I'll be going now and see you later. Oh, I get the emojis for that. Nice. Well, thank you for joining Omega Prime. If you join back when we're still streaming, awesome. If you don't get a chance to, I will catch you next time. Always a pleasure having you in the stream. G rating for trolling the trolls. Ah, yeah, no, yeah, just basically be polite, if that makes sense. Don't get really... YouTube are cracking down on swearing and that a lot on channels, from videos to people in the chats and stuff, so sometimes it's appropriate, but just bear in mind what you're doing. That's all I'm saying on that one. Noxie, that's not a problem. I appreciate you joining for as long as you can do, and just watch it afterwards for catching up. We're still streaming later on, then feel free to join in, but anytime you guys can, you know, stop on by, say hi, even if it's just for 5 minutes in a live stream or something, it's always appreciated, so thank you so much for that. Omega Prime, puns forever, yes, always. Ah, Galahad 19's off to bed. Good night. Who do we have left, though? Let me know if you're still here in the chat. But I do appreciate everybody who's made it so far. And, yeah. I know we've got some people who aren't actually chatting, but we'll watch the stream, so that's cool as well. You don't have to chat. It's just me saying, yeah. Let's go back and reset the music. Zenith and Shade Hunter. I'm not here, Heidenborough. Haha. Happy hiding. And Zenith's just beans everywhere. Crazy for a day. Sleep is for people with good planning skills, so I'm here. Yeah, I've got terrible planning skills. I'm here doing these designs. That'd be quite cool. I do need to, however. It's been a while since we've drawn it, so I'm going to draw one on the chest on this side. I will tweak that in a minute to look more how it should do, but we have an Omnitrix on this Kaiju. I might move that somewhere else and tweak it, but definitely need to put an Omnitrix on the Kaiju, because the other ones have had it out of sight, and I know they're Ben 10 Kaiju, but it'll be quite cool to just include it a little bit on some of the others. Oh, what did you guys think of the actually, I'll put this in a poll quickly. Yeah, I'll put a simple poll up. I had fun doing that last week, but I just wonder if people would like to see it or not. If I do another 8-hour stream, like the Pokemon type swap, that was quite fun. They're not all going to be Pokemon type swaps, but I do need to do another one, or a digital painting one for 8 hours, like a proper intensive style one, sort of like digital painting or something. So I'm really getting into that at the moment, but obviously I'm keeping the original style that I do for the videos with stuff like the phobias as dragons and other videos, normal videos on the channel. They're still going to be in that style, which is similar to what we're doing here, with a bit of the colour that I've learned on the colour theory from the digital painting blended in with the actual original style that we do. Oh, that's not a problem, Gracie, for a day. I appreciate if you're in the same time zone as me. You don't have to do 8 hours. I'm just thinking if I do like an 8-hour stream in the daytime or something, maybe I'll do it one day at the weekend or something, or one afternoon on a weekend, or a bank holiday or something. Just do it when everybody's not working or got anything on. I'm just trying to plan ahead in the future of doing a couple of them. I'm happy to do the ones that we have like we do now, you know, the ones that are in the evenings, and we do like 4 hours or so. But I'm also happy to do happy to break it up into part streams here and there. You know, I'm just thinking, if people can make it, do you think it'd be a good idea? Oh, that's cool. I appreciate it if you guys want to try to join if I do another one. It was mainly an experiment to see that time of day and what happens, as well as to get a bit more watch time. I know I plug it every stream, but I am working on the watch time hours at the moment. I want to. Well, I'm determined to hit that target before the 20th of May, or the 18th of May actually. I need. I say I need. It is a channel milestone to hit the 4,000 hour watch time. Oh, hello Beast Productions, welcome to the stream. And you say, who is your big three of the Ben 10 aliens? Or is it from a particular series, like the original series, or are we going for any in total? Because feedback's quite a cool one if it's for any, and I'd say it's always a feedback, Diamondhead. If we go for the original 10, it's Diamondhead, Wildmutt, and Diamondhead, Wildmutt, and which one do I want out there? Ripjaws. I'd say probably those ones, even though I do quite like Heatblast. If we're going out of all of them, I would say I like Way Big, Feedback, and I did quite like the Ditto. Shade Hunter says, currently doing a full fighting run of Violet. It's painful trying to grind up the very select few mon I can use. I'll tell you what though, get Lucario, get a Riolu, get Lucario and level them up. Like the calcium and all that lot. And you find it really easy to get through that part of the game. Super overpowered. Awesome. That kind of artistic kid gave me a Nuzlocke challenge and I haven't found a shiny yet. So on my brand new Switch account, I started all over again. Started working on it, and I can't actually do anything in the game currently other than grind with my original starting Pokemon, and I chose Quaxley, the water duck. It's now level 40 something, and I still have no shiny. After using sandwiches and a load of methods going back and forth over areas, I have over 500 plus Riolu fur just from grinding in that area to try and get a shiny Riolu. I even tried all the mass outbreaks for a Farfetch or Fletchling, Fletchling or to try and get a Talonflame, electric types to try and get a Pikachu or a Mareep. I'll tell you what, the amount of sheep I saw trying to get the Mareep one, it was insane. It was beyond anything I ever thought I'd see. It was just absolutely crazy. I want to do flames of these actually while I think about it. I think I'm going to give it a... flames coming out from the knees as well. That might look quite cool. What about you, Beast Productions, if you're still here? Who are your big three of the Ben 10 aliens? Have you got any that I haven't listed? Or the HEATBLAST Kaiju looks awesome so far. Thank you so much. It's working on the basis of Rodent, which is it just seemed to work, and I completely forgot after we selected kind of like a Rodon based that Animo made that HEATBLAST kind of like bat in one of the early episodes, which is quite fun. So yeah. I post my roster on the Discord, not enough room here. Gen chat, it'll be received. I would say Shade Hunter. What have we got on the Discord? I'll tell you what. If you hold off for now, after the stream or tomorrow, I will create a specific channel for it for like gaming talk or something, and we can get that added in there, if that makes sense. We'll look to get that added in as something on there, because Yeah, most of it's art on there, but maybe we'll do something like just random stuff or gaming or something, just to give something out for you to be able to use. I mean, you could post it in general if you want to. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's super well received or not, but yeah, no, it's quite cool. You could put it in there, or you can if there's another chat that might work, then that'd be quite cool. I'm trying to think what channels we've got, because I see more channels than you guys do in the Discord, because I've got things set up for future events, and I've got stuff set up for when I actually hit the 4,000 hours for some of the stuff I've got planned. So I've actually planned ahead. This is how determined I am to get those watch time hours. I planned ahead for a few extra bits for you guys. Beast Productions says the personal big three for them are Accelerate, Feedback, and Diamondhead. Nice. And Senif says Big Chill, Ghost Freak, and Water Hazard. Oh, I forgot about Big Chill. That was quite a fun character to yeah, no, that was actually quite a cool one. I suppose with Ultimate, the only thing I really liked about Big Chill was they changed it from they managed to change the type so it became fire from ice, but I get they changed the type, but I think they just didn't know how to evolve it further as an ice moth. Oh no, Shaden, that's fine. That's not a problem. I'm looking to put something Pokemon related in the chat anyway, because I'm doing a lot of requested drawings and stuff for it at the moment. So I'm actually doing, as you might have seen, I've done Nemona from that as my first one. We've got a Sada or Sada, depending how you pronounce it, and Koraidon. I've done a Riolu, so yeah, I am happy to add that to it. Nice. Upgrade's a good one. I was thinking about Upgrade, but I'm techie by nature, so I'm kind of like, that just seems too obvious for me. I do like Upgrade, and it's one of the first. Was it one of the first dragons I did? That was in my Ben 10 Dragons series on the channel. I called it a Galvanic Drake because it didn't have wings, but it could just blend in with its environment around it, which was quite cool. Alright, let's just give it some. I mean, once this is done, I've got to ink this, which will make some of the details become a bit more clear and a bit more solid. But this is the penciling stage. It takes a while sometimes to get this in before I ink it with the solid lines that we do. For those of you that are new, and then we'll start adding the flats and work on it from there. It's going to be similar to how we've done the Diamondhead Kaiju that we did last time. And I do have to reduce some of the videos down to make smaller and quicker ones. I don't think I've done the Kaiju one actually as a VOD one, but it will be quite interesting. Now that's cool. I do like the idea of the Paradox Pokemon. I need to design some of my own because I know people have done that, and it'd be quite interesting to see what's been come up with for Paradox Pokemon. I do like the whole Fakemon community I've been discovering lately. I know people have done it, but I've actually been looking at it a bit more for research purposes, which is quite cool. But yeah, there's a bonus video if anybody does like Pokemon of Riolu happening this week. It's going to be a short, probably 3-5 minute video with a time lapse. The time lapse and a bit of music for the final artwork. Just because it's quite cool, and it'll be. I like how it came out, and it's a bit of practice, so I'm just sharing the art on the channel, to be honest. But yeah, and then it's just working through everything from that point onwards. Get all these awesome video idea suggestions we've had from people out. A couple of the kaiju as well would be quite cool to get more of the kind of withdrawing the flames for this because they're all doesn't look quite so right. That's a bit better. Cool, so we get rid of that first layer which we had. And just bring this down so we can have final inking of it. And this is where we really add the detail. Crazy for a Day says, "Hey Dempsey, I'm designing an Omnitrix user OC aliens. I don't know what aliens to do. There will be mutant hybrids though. Can I get any suggestions?" Are they going to be the original Ben 10 ones and the hybrid fusions of them? Or are they going to be any aliens from any genre? That's going to be the interesting one. Oh yeah, that was quite a fun one. I've mentioned that earlier as well. That was quite an interesting one that happened. The lovely cold version of Ben 10's Aliens. It's always good fun when they do stuff like that. Yeah, I know if you've been down for too long, your back will hurt. Unfortunately, as an artist, when you're drawing and that, sometimes it does happen and you just have to take one for the team. But no, I know that one. Sometimes you can't avoid that kind of happening and hurting, and you just got to deal with it. Hey Alpha Dragon, welcome to the stream. How's your day going and what have you been up to? I will look at the chat again in a second, guys. I'm just adding a few extra details as we ink this out because I want this to... I want to make this pop a little bit. Which ones have you done already, Crazy for a Day? Just so we know what ones not to suggest, but I would say probably fused. I mean, I know they did some of the original fusions before on one of them, like Forearms and Grey Matter, for example, and stuff like that would be quite interesting ones. But also look at doing some other ones as well, kind of like, yeah, kind of mixing it in a little bit, but It's hard to explain. Hopefully you get the gist. It's kind of like maybe take some of the Ultimate Aliens and fuse them with some of the originals or something. Alpha Dragon was at school. I've been at work today, so yeah. John the Baptist says hello. Hello and welcome to the stream. Zenith would recommend that beans being fused with it. Yeah, no, that sounds quite cool. I'm looking forward to when it actually gets connected to the whole sort of like home, Pokemon Home and that. I'm relatively new to the whole Switch and that, even though I used to play Pokemon years back. I am relatively new to it, so I'm saving up for Violet, pinching a Switch to borrow at times, and saving up for a Switch. Other goals for the year. Oh, don't worry, John. I just said welcome to the stream. Happened to be the moment you ended up leaving for a second, which is yeah. No, it's just welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. As we start inking the detail on this Heat Blast as a kaiju. So we're doing Heat Blast in kind of like a Rodan style, which is kind of like this big winged, almost like dragon style creature, and it's just taking it from there. So I'm just adding more details as we go, just to really try and make this stand out a bit more. So when we actually render this out with the colours a bit later on, we'll have this rather cool design that works with the line weights. And John says, what are you using to draw? I'm using an iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil, and the app is called Procreate. I've got some I've got some brushes I've purchased over time for the inking and the painting style bits and that, but generally I'm just using Procreate and drawing on an iPad, which I find really... It's the best program I've found so far to do drawing, which is quite cool. Yeah, I think doing a long stream is a resounding yes. How many votes did we have? 12 votes. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll do an 8-hour stream at some point. Maybe I'll do something to go to the so I'll probably do it on a bank holiday or something, a day when everyone's maybe free to join in, and I might put a poll out and find everyone's time zones out to get the best time to do it. Alpha Dragon, Lucario evolves by friendship. Yes. Yeah, it looks like it's 100% for another 8-hour live stream. I've only done one ever, so it'll be quite interesting. John the Baptist says, how do you make money doing this? I'm curious if you don't mind me asking. Currently I don't, but I do know of the methods to do it. So sometimes you can make downloadable content. One method to make money doing this is to get into the YouTube partnership program. I mean, I know you're probably on about the art in general, but YouTube partnership program will mean that I'm monetized. So when the video and the content comes out, you'll get the ads on it. YouTube do it anyway, but it means that if ads are shown, I just get a couple pence or something each one, depending how many views you get. And no, but usually I've made money in the past doing art by going to stuff like Comic Cons and selling my art in person, which has worked rather well. I haven't done it in a while because lockdown hit with COVID worldwide, and a couple of the local ones in the UK that I used to go to, basically they stopped for one reason or another. And some were people just being really, I hate to say it, but I think the best term is they're just being really pathetic over the scenario with some things on the day. And it's like, well, they did the best they could with the venue that they had, but the venue didn't take responsibility for bits, and it's a shame. But no, making money with this, it's a cross between if you can get commissions in, if you can sell it at Comic Cons or an online store, and if you can get monetized, really. Yeah, I think that, yeah, they were being, that's one way to put it, Shade Hunter. I won't say it on the on here just in case just in case YouTube decides it's going to be funny about it. They're getting really really funny about language on the channel with the new change in the rules and the guidelines and stuff, but I get what you mean. It's just, yeah, they're it wasn't exactly money issues. It was I heard that it was someone complained about some disability access because they wanted to watch the cosplay bit. They couldn't actually do it, but they offered alternatives because where the stage was, there was just no access. Other than the stairs, there's no access up there because it's an older building, and it's like they just ruined it for everybody. They couldn't do the Comic-Con anymore in that location, so they never ended up continuing it, which is a real shame because that was one of my highlights of the year. So I've got to find a new Comic-Con to actually get to. Problem is, that was the money being a factor. That was one of the cheaper Comic Cons in the local area to get to, which means that I could quite easily do that within budget. So until things pick up now and I can get some funds locked behind, it's a case of just going with what I can do. Oh yeah, the big yellow hammer, that is YouTube. Yeah, that's also money issues. Monetized would be quite nice. That's a goal that I've got. So, you know, if you can like the video, if you're enjoying the content, that'd be awesome. And then yeah, it helps bring that out to YouTube, and then it's just a case of feel free to join us as we draw and we stream. I'm from the UK. I won't go into much more details than that, but the UK for me, if you're happy saying what country you're from, it'd be good to know. Just to get an idea. I think most people I've got from the East Coast over in the USA. So yeah, most of the viewers I tend to see are from America and Brazil way, actually, like South America and that, which is really nice to know that I've got a fan base in another time zone on another part of the world, which is quite funky. Shade Hunter's from Texas, nice. Arizona, UK, Tennessee, Oklahoma. Awesome. We've got a nice range of a nice range of places from people. I have had some people from the other side of the world, like India, before, and streams or comment on videos and stuff, which is awesome. It's just the time zone difference is really weird, so I don't know where it is for you guys, what it's for you guys, but it's like almost midnight over here. So when I do a stream in the evenings, I set it to be like 10:15 on the UK time, I think that usually works out to be about 5 in the afternoon, 9 times out of 10. Most places. Which I don't mind doing it at the time zone difference once or twice in the kind of week. I don't really often sleep much some of the days. I'm up this late anyway, so may as well do a stream, chill, hang out, and yeah, answer any questions and do some fun art designs. Seeing as I'm going to be up anyway. Oh, we've got New York as well. Cool. Alpha Drag says, also, any more Pokemon Fusion mech armors? There will be some Pokemon mech armors arriving over time. I haven't quite decided when they'll be. Just because we've got D&D mech armors, we've got anime girl characters from whatever that series is as mech armors. We've got, and these are all being suggested on the Discord. So we've got quite a fair few ideas to do, but the Pokemon mech armors, there is a mech armor episode with Nexum coming up within the next couple of weeks, I believe. If not, it's early February. So many things planned out. I've planned out most of January, but I can't remember all of the video types that I've done. Makes it a bit more interesting, really. Now, I've got a calendar of it all planned out for what's happening. So, like I said at the start of the stream, there's some SCP content happening Friday, which should be quite fun. I did say it in a previous stream, but I will be alternating the live streams each week. So, this week's Monday. Next week will be a Wednesday live stream. I might do a Monday one, but it's planned in for Wednesday. I'm just alternating it for around my work. So one week it'll be on a Monday, the next one it'll be on a Wednesday. But I'll always post the public stream out ahead of time so people can turn the notification bell on and kind of like see it pop up in the chat and that. So it's a case of knowing it's happening. Like with this one, pretty much just giving the notification like a day early so people can feel free to drop in if they wish to. Always under no obligation to be in a stream, but anybody that does show up, I absolutely appreciate it. So thank you all for being here this evening, this afternoon, morning, depending what side of the world you're on. And yeah, I say, if you've got any questions or anything about, well, anything really, art, stuff from the channel, the stream, the process, Ben 10 stuff, Pokemon, we cover a whole host of things as we just chill out and do some drawing. I think that's pretty much how it is on these lives. Well, you do the drawing, we watch it. Yep, same as if I premiere something. I've done the drawing, you guys can come along, ask questions, and just watch. I have to say, compared to the first time I did a live stream when I was absolutely petrified, it wasn't even on my channel that my first live stream that I was petrified in. But I did that last year. It was on a Koifish Gaming's channel. I joined him for a Cuphead co-op, I believe was the first one that we did. Yeah, I think it was Cuphead, because shortly after we did a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was absolutely amazing, Shredder's Revenge. But But no, it was quite cool to just join somebody, and he's over in he's over the other side of the world, and we just remote played the game for a bit, and I was on camera, and I was just like, oh my god, I'm on camera in front of how many people? At the start, nervous. Now it's just like, hey guys, I'm streaming, I'm drawing, come along, say hi if you want, ask any questions, and let's hang out. The only thing I need to figure out how to get rid of is adverts on the music, so I might have to start downloading some of the music or recording it without the adverts, and then making my own local playlist of it, really. Just because it's a cross between a distraction, and I never know what adverts are going to come up next, which sometimes can be interesting, and sometimes it can be like, oh, I apologise for that advert, I couldn't control that. I don't know why that's shown up, but yeah, sorry. Oh, I did ask it on the like 8-hour stream, but I'll ask you guys in case you weren't here on those on that Pokemon type swap. Have any of you made any New Year's resolutions, and if so, what are they? And have you managed to stick to it so far this year? I've got a couple. I'm not quite slipping on my first one, but I am still figuring it all out. My first one was to get a balance between work, home life, and doing the YouTube content on the channel, which is why I've kind of spread the live streams to alternate each week, so I can do the bits where I've got to go into the office with work, and I've got to do live streams for the channel content, and then make the regular videos that I do. That's a good one, Matthew, to keep drawing and attempt to call your friends. Saying that, I haven't seen a couple of my friends in absolutely forever, so I'm hoping to sort that out this year. Ever since I used to go around there regularly, but ever since lockdown hit, we've been in contact, but you just get in the habit of not going anywhere, and then it's like, we can do it again, and it's like, yeah, we'll do that, yeah, we'll do that. And it just doesn't happen no matter how much we chat or we go to sort it. So I'm going to do that this year. I might just show up on the doorstep, just go, hey, remember me? I do still exist. How's it going? Oh, that's a really good goal, Beast Productions. Finish drawing in all the pages of your sketchbook. That's a nice one. I do have another goal which I'm doing, which I did mention earlier, so if you were here earlier, I do apologise for mentioning it again, but that is hitting the watch time goal I'm aiming for by May. So there's another reason why I appreciate everybody here, but I'm happy if I have 5 people in a live stream as I'm drawing it all the way through, or I end up with 5 people from the people that could get into the stream and disappear and come back. I appreciate anybody who spends their time watching me do some drawing and art on the channel. And hopefully you guys enjoy it and the content, and just asking me loads of questions. Usually at the start we get the normal guys at the start, and I always get loads of questions and video suggested ideas, which is amazing. Crazy for a day. That's actually a good one. Not conventional, but getting better at drawing poses. And I've raised this one up on here because I struggle with drawing poses over times, and you can often tell when I've used a reference and when I haven't. But I'm getting better the more that I'm doing it. So a good trick I've used is, if you go onto Pinterest on the mobile phone app, or just go onto Pinterest and just search, say if you're drawing dragons or animals, dragon poses reference, and you'll get all the line art show up. I often use, you'll see the poses used for a lot of the artwork on there has given inspiration, or I've used it as the basis for a pose before doing my fusions or phobias or something over the top, and it gives a bit of variety. But I'm also learning as I draw more, so sometimes I do it as a case study, and I'll use that as a drawing. Sometimes I do it as a oh, how would that look with that wing from that pose, or I see it and I try and draw it but tweak the angle a little bit. But yeah, poses is something that's on the list. I guess drawing hands should be on the list as well for everybody, because drawing hands is a bit of a crazy, it's weird. You're either good at it or you're not, and there's so many ways to draw hands, but at the same time, if you don't do it right, it's it doesn't look right at all. Let's change the colour of some of these later if I just want to get the... I guess a key tip on this is to close your lines, at least on the outline of the picture, for what I do in a bit. Part of the process I use is an alpha lock as well as a clipping mask, depending on what part of shading I'm doing. But for that to work, for a clipping mask, I need a solid colour base underneath, and usually I'll take the solid base from what we've got here, and I use that, but I do need to close a lot of these lines. Yeah, I'll close these lines just so I know that they're closed, and I'll change the colour at the end if I need to. Make them more, I think for the flames I want to make them a bit more in line with the actual, kind of like the heat blast fire, like the yellow colour or something on these lines. But if I'm going to do that, I need to obviously make sure that I have all the core essence of the shapes in place. So if you're filling every Beast Productions, if you're filling all the pages in your sketchbook, are you doing a full page in the sketchbook, so lots of little sketches all over the place and that, or are you doing one picture per page, but to cover the majority of the page? Or is it a mixture? Sometimes it's a little bit in the page, sometimes it's a full piece in the page. Just wondering if you set yourself any like criteria for the pages for your filling of the sketchbook out. Give me a second, guys. I don't have a criteria, but I usually do one image per page, try to draw multiple. Nice. That's a good, quite a good goal to have set. Sorry, turned the heating on earlier, and it's getting a bit toasty in here now. Usually you just draw your OCs. That's quite cool. I need to get in the habit of drawing the narrators from the channels in other poses. I've got a few things I also have to draw for people this year outside of usual channel content, and that's going to be happening. So I want to get a certain piece done by May, just to say thank you to somebody. And then I've got a few other bits to do for a few people now that I've got the resources or the reference images in to try and do something. And just trying to get this painting style down to do the best version I can do for them. I like to give back to everybody that's, you know, supported the channel or supported you know, the streams, just watched and that. Crazy for a day? Yes, I'm just talking about that. I do struggle drawing the same character in different poses. When it's your own original character, it's not too bad, but I've never really drawn a character in multiple poses before, and it's a good exercise to do. I've just never done it, and when I've thought about doing it, I've just been I've kind of procrastinated a bit. So maybe I should put that on a list of things, challenges or things to get done by the year, is to actually draw a page with multiple characters, you know, faces at different angles and stuff, to get some practice in. Even if it's just anime characters or something, just to get the side view of the head, the front view and that, because I usually default similar poses for my characters. I tend to use a reference for the initial pose for the angle depending on the character, and then it's just a case of I'm doing my best to get that to work for what I want, and that's not always the case. So I would recommend, if possible, trying to get practice on that, because that's something I don't do and I need to. Usually I will see a reference image and draw the character based on the details from that, and just use what I've built up over time, experience. But that does mean certain poses, I would love to be able to do certain poses or certain angles on the characters and that. I probably could do them in quick versions and stuff, but sometimes I like more detail, especially if it's my own character, if that makes sense. And I had it in mind with like Dino Dinoclaw and Nexum, Demonica and Ehrenfold. I kind of hadn't something in mind, but I didn't have them fleshed out. Now I've got them fleshed out, I can use those little I love using those little narrator icons that I've designed in my videos now, just so you know who is talking, and the voices are kind of differentiated a bit between Demonica and Dino Dinoclaw, just because of the image. It kind of helps just separate them a bit, because they sound so similar. I can't do female voices very well, so I tried to go softer, but she's got a posh accent being a lecturer, and Dino Dinoclaw has a rather posh accent being a dinosaur expert. So it kind of goes a little bit of a interesting way around. In fact, maybe I do need to do a kaiju narrator at some point, and I will probably do a kaiju series that aren't from the live streams, so I can actually record talking with some lore. How many watching and how many likes? It's always a good question to ask every now and again, because I can't actually see I don't have the stream open as I'm I really should do that actually. I don't have the stream open on anything as I'm doing this, so I don't get any extra bits of or nuggets of information at times. 8 watching, 10 likes. Awesome. More likes than watchers. That's always good. I will, over time, as the channel grows, be putting in stuff like like goals. 11 likes and 8 watching. The likes are going up. I'm more than happy for that. I am, over time, going to try and add more information onto the screen that we've got. So at the moment we've got kind of like the sub count that we've currently got, and if that does go up, if we get a new subscriber after about 10-20 seconds, that should actually go up to like, if we get one new subscriber, that'll go up to 2249, which I think is quite cool. If we lose a subscriber, that'll go down, so all the internet trolls can have fun subscribing and unsubscribing on the stream to make it go up and down. But I'm not subscriber focused. I just thought it was a nice feature I saw on someone's stream, and can I do that? Yes, let's do that. Same as getting stuff like goals. So when we start getting more subscribers and more people into it, we'll start going with like goals, so people coming in to say, okay, can we get 10 likes? Can we get 20 likes then? And we'll pin the comment every now and again, just for something fun in there. I know, right? Crazy for a day. Pinterest is awesome for reference images. Don't straight copy a design from there unless it's a case study. It's the only main advice I'll give you. Poses are not a problem, but obviously if you can't copy a full design and say it's yours, I know you probably won't, and I've said this in chat before, but I just like to say, if I give a reference out to stuff like Pinterest, I always like to just, I'd rather do that. If you are going to be using a pose from someone, that's great, not a problem for the pose. If you're heavily influenced by their artwork and design, and I mean heavily, where possible, always do a credit and a link. I know I've probably not done it in the past on a few things, but I try to be, as credit where credit's due. Same as you guys give an idea, and I know it's who's given the idea. I will say thanks to it, or mention it in the comments, or mention it in the video. I tried to mention it in the video, and I'm getting a bit better at doing that with the structure. But yeah. Oh yeah, no, I get that. Not pillaging OCs. I just wanted to, because I pointed you to Pinterest, I just want to say it for everybody in case somebody else has, come along and gone, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Yes, it's a great idea for references and drawing and stuff, but at the same time, be sure to tweak things a little bit. Like this drawing, I've got a reference of a Rodon, like a flying one from someone in DeviantArt Open, by Kaiju Samurai. However, I've used it for the basic features of the character, but I've changed aspects of this as well as putting the HEATBLAST stuff on it, so it's not the same design. It's just I wanted the pose from it at the start, and then I tweaked it as I was drawing it. Okay, giving a shout out for credit in the middle of this, but it's what you do. You just get the information you need. And reference images, always use a reference image. I know artists that do absolutely amazing artwork. Popcross is no different. If you look at his videos, he's always got a little picture up in the corner of what he's using as a reference, and then he draws his pose and that based off it. An amazing artist who does hand drawing and digital work using Coral Painter and Photoshop is Stanley Lau, goes by the artist name ArtGem. I followed him for years. His just digital pieces and that are absolutely amazing, but he's always got like all the Google images open on a massive desktop window next to him, so that he can see all the different angles for the type of the character that he's doing, what version. If it's a Marvel DC New 52, he'll have like about 15 of the images open. References are the way to go in anything you're drawing. Always. And you can never go wrong with a reference. And you can tell which ones on my channel I haven't used a reference on, and which ones I have in the same video. or at least I can. Everybody loves the art design. Sometimes the ones that I don't use a reference from, they're like, oh my god, I love that design. It's like, yeah, I know, it looks weird and odd, but it kind of works. They're speaking of random things happening. Is everyone else's YouTube plastered with all this Logan Paul stuff? From his CryptoZoo thing. It seems to be... I don't know. I saw one video on it a long time ago. And that's all I've got on my YouTube now. I'm just wondering if anybody else has found that. You know, have you watched something a little while back and ended up with hundreds of things all over it? Because, you haven't watched anything to do with that subject in ages. I'm not going to turn this into like a, oh yeah, this is exactly what's happening and all this bit. I'm just asking the question if people are getting that from YouTube on their recommendations, or the homepage just flooded with like tons of the same video basically done by different people. Yeah, you're right, it is very weird for suggestions. It's like, if I can get 30 to 50 likes at the start of a live stream, right, YouTube will plaster that out to almost everybody who likes art. It's ridiculous. This is why like goals would be absolutely amazing to do at some point. However, so the more people like the video at the start, the more YouTube will plug that out to the audience. But it's really weird because if my video gets suggested at the end of a Popcross video, I tend to get a few people come over to it, and I can always tell if YouTube suggested my videos out to people, or if something's just gone right somewhere amongst what I've done, because all of a sudden I'll get more views within the first day or two. I'll get like 100 odd views on the channel on something that I haven't done a subject on in absolutely ages, and I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. And then sometimes I'll just do a piece of art or content and it'll be like, oh, that's a really good idea, it's really good, I've pushed it out, then it's like, oh, but people are just skipping through to watch the bit they want to watch. Oh, that's really annoying. So it's a bit of a catch-22 at times. It's like, sometimes it's absolutely amazing what YouTube passes out, sometimes it's absolutely abysmal. It's not even for the subs. I'm quite happy to steadily grow the channel and the community with guys and people that join in with the live streams like you guys. Just hang out, chill out, listen to me waffle on about life and stuff in general. Interact through the comments and the chat, and just yeah, just chill. And if you enjoy my content and you leave a like, it's muchly appreciated. For full evolution set, Shade Hunter, there are 9 Eevee evolutions currently in game. That's Eevee, Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, Glaceon. After Glaceon, you've got Sylveon, Espeon, Umbreon, Leafeon, Eevee itself, and what's the other one? Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, so you got Eevee, Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, Glaceon, Leafeon, Espeon, Umbreon, Sylveon. 39. Yeah, Umbreon was the one I was missing. Yeah, no, but you've got 9 currently, even though some people have actually drawn like 18 in the fan stuff, because they want to they want the full set, like dragon versions and that of it. There are literally just 9 of them currently. Oh, anybody heard that on the Pokemon game, Violet and that, Annihilate's been completely banned, along with one of the legendaries, I think it's Chenpo, or Chenpao, the goldfish one. They're basically going and banning them from the game. They are too overpowered for it, apparently. It's like, really? Yeah. Oh, okay. So this like community of 9 people who basically say what Pokemon get in the game or not. 7 eggs then. It depends how many you've got currently, but I would say you need 9 Eevees. Because they evolve over different ways. Sylveon's usually with a ribbon. Glaceon's usually with a kind of like an ice stone or rock, an icy rock. Leafeon's obviously the grass stone, and Flareon, Vaporeon, and Jolteon are the same. They're done through stones. Umbreon has to be evolved at night, and Espeon, I can't remember the criteria for that one. If they're still the same as what they used to be. I'm not sure, Shade Hunter, if it's banned from competitive or banned from the game. I just know there's been a lot of videos coming up on my feed because I've been watching. I'm watching Gage Perez and Chem Nation and a few others doing Scarlet and Violet on their live streams. In fact, I missed Gage's earlier because they're awesome people. They always say hi and try to answer as many questions in chat. And I tell you what, the amount of questions that come up in chat for those guys, it's like, I know they can't get to all of them, but they answer so many questions. It's absolutely insane. But no, it's a good question. I'm not sure if it is from the game or not, but it's going to be quite a interesting scenario, that one. Right, let's delete that. Pray I've got all of the outside done. Oh, I missed a bit somewhere. Where have I missed it? Coming into here. Ah. Helps if I close. This is why I say it helps if I close all the lines. Finding these little bits everywhere is kind of a... just want to try and make sure I get the when I invert it, I kind of pick a solid color and then I fill it in with the white. So when I turn the background layer off, I still need to go around the outline a bit. What I've got is this whole bit for the clipping mask, which looks really cool. Shadow says 7 eggs because only 8 evolution forms, and Sylveon is leveled via friendship with a fairy move. Ah, cool. Espeon and Umbreon were without the fairy move. Nice. And Matthew says, I wonder what benten aliens would be like dinosaurs. Dinoclaw might know. Humongosaur. Straight off the bat. Yeah, it does. I do like the way that Dino Dinoclaw actually has a Dinoclaw now in the series. Anybody who's new, watch Dino Dinoclaw's DNA Dilemma, and it all will be explained. Hey, Noxie, welcome back. But I'll guess who's back. Who? So you've not missed much. I'm about to just tidy up the artwork edge a little bit, which is unfortunately the only real tedious thing I have to do in the entire process. Is just go... It's the only drawback from Procreate bar gradients is you have to, depending on your selection settings, I'm still figuring out the best way to do it. I managed to do it on the live stream, our live stream on some of them. Some of the Pokemon I did didn't have any of these white bits around the side. No idea how. I need to figure that out. But basically, this stops any colour seeping past these black lines on the actual colour gradient stage. Nice. You're playing Doom. What version of Doom are you playing? Is it the retro classic version? Or is it one of the new ones like I've got on the Xbox, Doom? Or is it Doom Eternal? I have played... I can't remember which version of Doom I've got on the Xbox, but the graphics have gone up somewhat chronic, and the monsters are like, just seem OP. They just seem absolutely insanely strong. Eternal. Nice. I don't know if that's the one I've got or not, but yeah, Doom games are always fun. Cool. I'm still on the copyright-free music. That's always good. So while you're gone, Noxy, I don't know if you'd gone by this point, but I did ask people what their New Year's resolutions were and how they were getting on. So, what's your New Year's resolution, if you have any, and how are you getting on with it? I didn't actually say how I'm getting on with my watch time resolution to get towards the 4K. But yeah, that's going quite well at the moment. I'm under 1,000 left to get. You can't hear the music. Do you want me to turn it up a little bit? Is that better? Hopefully that's better, Shade Hunter. There should have been a bit of music going in the background the whole time just to add some vibes, but if you couldn't hear it, then whoops. But if you're still enjoying the stream, that's fine. I think the colour scheme for this one's going to look quite cool when it's done. I will do as much as I can do on this tonight. I may have to be broken into 2 parts, like the Kaiju one. Sorry, like the Diamondhead Kaiju. Oh yeah, no. The only reason I was worried about the copyright stuff, Shade Hunter, is because I do use Creator Mix, who are copyright free. But sometimes, as I go through the list, YouTube on the iPad, because I'm using my old iPad as a music bit, so the stream works a bit smoother through the through OBS on the laptop. It's a case of it jumps to like music that's not Creator Mix or it's not copyrighted. It just suddenly plays a song and jumps through, and I'm like, oh, shouldn't be doing that. But it happens. It's one of them things. The music's just to take away from the fan of the laptop a little bit, because I think I need to invest in a few things, which is another reason why I'm trying to get... Everything's about money, but it's not about money. It's to get stuff to make it better for the streams. So get something that takes the fan away from the laptop, the sound, maybe a cooling mat or something. I know they're not that expensive, but I want a decent one. If I'm going to get equipment for the channel, I want something that'll last. And to do that, it's save up the pennies, which is all good and fun. But I'm also thinking, if I get down if the community grows enough to have memberships and we get a few members, I'm thinking of doing some bonus streams afterwards as I'm doing the work for the upcoming videos for the month, if people are interested in that. So it'll be like maybe a Wednesday night or a Monday night, or when I'm working on it, I'll just jump on for an hour or two and just have a chat, answer some questions, maybe do some extra stuff like some feedback for people's art or something, and just something where I can give back or give behind the scenes stuff to everybody, but obviously tie it in with what my schedule is so that it works, if that makes sense. And it's not a case of trying to be, oh well, these perks are only for members. It's just that doing them for members for behind the scenes means that for those who don't want to see it, it's not publicly out there for them to just come along and go, I didn't want to see this, or jump on it, if that makes sense. Oh, we got a question. How do you keep track of all your art? Do you have a way to back it up or something like that? I use Google Drive. So the videos where I make the art, I don't back them up. I keep a video, so for example, depending on the space on the laptop, the last one that we did, which was the Phobius of Dragons, that's still on the laptop. All the files, resources to make the video, all the audio sources and that everywhere. In terms of the art, every now and again I will back it up into my Google Drive, and I pay for the 2 terabyte plan. I think that works out to be something like £8 or 8. It works out to be less than £10, $10 a month. That means that I've got access to them everywhere, and if I'm running out of space, I can back them up out there. But all the original Procreate files that you'll see, like the file that you'll see me working on now, they get pushed up afterwards usually into Google Drive. I haven't done it for a few bits of artwork, so I need to do that soon. But that's a good question. I tend to try and back it up, because even if it's just a exported image, an illustration or JPEG, I found that I did lose them because of space. And that was kind of a bit of a dilemma, really, because it was a case of I was doing all this art, but my old iPad only had 64 gigabytes of space on it. It's a very old model. It's like a 10.9. I don't know what generation it is, but it had it only had 64 gigabytes of space, and if you count the apps on it and that, after about 2 or 3 drawings recording the screen, I've used up all the space. Whereas this one has 512 gigabytes. So I'm nowhere near using up the space even after doing everything, but I still back it up to Google Drive. And I'd recommend any digital art you do, anybody, back it up. Just finish it, upload it across. So I'll screen split this, I'll open up Google Drive, and I'll whack them into the appropriate folders. So one for each year, illustrations, Procreate files, same for the community redraw. All the final images are all pushed onto the Google Drive, so that at any point I can send the images to people, and if they do lose them, say I send it to them via email or Discord, and they no longer have that email address, or they no longer have that Discord and the file saved anywhere, they can get the high-res versions resent to them at any point. The only thing I won't do with anyone's submissions from the community redraws is put them on the store, because even though I do have a store and I don't promote it very often, and I need to update it with a few things as we go along, I'll probably put this on there after we're done. It's a case of, it's not my original characters. I know this isn't my original character, we're converting it to like a kaiju, but they're your guys' OCs or original things that I've done something with, or just on a straight redraw. Hopefully that's kind of answered, do I back them up and that. I know I've waffled on, but yes, I do back them up, and I use Google Drive that I pay for, which is expensive in the long run, but perfect in the short term, because I don't have to buy an external hard drive and plug it in. It's anywhere I go with an internet connection, which is ideal, because if this crashes, I've got everything on there bar 1 or 2 things. And Noxy has asked, what's your favourite dinosaur? My favourite dinosaur, in terms of carnivores, is a Velociraptor. And I think in terms of herbivores, I quite like the Ankylosaurus, with its club tail, and it's kind of like just its basic spiked armor. Now, the saber-toothed tiger is not a dinosaur. It's not from the same era, even though people class it as it. Otherwise, that would have been on my list. But the saber-toothed tiger is not a dinosaur per se. There's a big hoo-ha over this, but yeah. Anyway, what about you, Noxie? What's your favourite dinosaur? In fact, to the chat, what are your... Do you have a favourite dinosaur, any of you guys? I suppose the next question is, do you have a favourite kaiju series? Yeah, I think we're going to end up doing another 8-hour stream at some point. Guys, do me a favour. Can someone tell me what the current likes are on the stream? And Allosaurus, the best. Nice. Velociraptor. Velociraptors. Yes, they always hunt in packs. I'm just wondering what the current likes are. If someone's kind enough to refresh the page and skip about a second of the stream or something. 9 likes. Fair enough. Thanks, Zenith. 10 now. Awesome. Shade Hunt says, sadly I gotta go, and my favourite dino would be a Spinosaurus. That's quite a cool one. Cool. And T-Rex for Tegan. Nice. Well, Shade Hunter, thank you for joining the stream. If you want to find out how the rest of it goes on this one, because I'm going to at least get the basic colours in, probably go for another hour or so if you're not back beforehand. Just jump on and pick up the stream where you left off, if you can find the spot. And yeah, again, thank you for joining. And Matthew's got a list of them. Let's have a look. We've got the Triceratops, Stegosaurus, Ankylosaurus, Iguanodon, and others. Favourite kaiju movies, Pacific Rim and the new Godzilla movies. Nice. What did you think of Pacific Rim Into the Black, the Netflix series that they brought out? That kind of like weird 3D animated anime style. I quite like the series once I got into it a little bit. So the style of animation didn't really look odd to me. So that kind of threw me a bit at the start. Or a Trudon, they're one of the fastest dinosaurs. Nice. Pacific Rim will forever be my favourite kaiju movie. Too bad there wasn't an actual sequel. Uprising doesn't count as a sequel. Yeah, it wasn't really a sequel per se, was it? It was kind of more like a... let's just put a load of action into what happened afterwards and just continue, you know, answer a few questions on it, but not really another sequel. I do like Pacific Rim. The Godzilla movies are quite good as well in terms of kaiju and that. I do like the Godzilla vs Kong movie where they brought out Mega Godzilla and that. They kind of had a rather cool storyline for that, for Mecha Godzilla, and the battles, which was quite cool. Yeah, crazy for a day. Even a lot of Velociraptors had feathers and stuff. The dinosaurs they've discovered over time, and like the original Jurassic Parks are wrong, which was kind of nice and seen. Is it Jurassic Park? It's Dominion, isn't it? It was quite nice to see the raptors in the frozen area with feathers, even if it was just one. It was just quite a cool concept to see. Matthew's put also like the Parasaurolophus, the one with the crest on the back of its head. Yeah, that's quite a cool one. more like small fluff. Yeah, I suppose it depends on the interpretation, but yeah. Oh, so what did we reckon the like total was? Did we say about 10? Yeah, I have to say, this is the most tedious bit of any of the artwork. Even on the digital ones, you don't see it from time lapses, but going around the colours. 11 likes. Awesome. I'm going to do... I'm going to pin the like goal to the top of the chat, hopefully. Do me a favour, guys. Let me know if that's actually pinned up. I need to just try and fix some on my... Just quick technical thing here. I just need to remove something from the... screen a little bit. I've got a button on my screen that says to clear stuff for how the chat goes, but I can't get past it. We're still streaming, aren't we, guys? Just let me know in the chat if we're still streaming. I had the screen jump off for a second and I just want to make absolutely sure. Cool, we got the message pinned now. Yeah, just say hi or something in the chat, just so I know we're still streaming. My screen with OBS jumped. It looks like we are. Awesome. Sorry, it's panic mode there. When you know when you're doing something on your screen and you just did something in a browser and then it just jumps to another window after you close something and you're like, wait, I didn't touch anything. Why has it disappeared? Give me a heart attack, but yeah. Cool. Yep, I've seen all the messages. Yeah, yep. Hi, E. Which is awesome. I tell you what, though, I have a new respect for those gaming YouTubers that are talking all the time. Like they do like 4, 6, 8 hour streams and they just do nothing but talk. It's kind of like, how do you guys do it? It's like they're doing 10 hours or so and they're talking the whole way through. Whether it's, okay guys, we've got a like goal, we're doing a like goal, we want 20 likes. Let me know as soon as we get 20 likes and we'll put a new like goal up. It's like, they're constantly doing it. How do they think of what to say? Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here, so... Yeah, but it's a bit of respect for those guys, because it's difficult to keep talking for the whole stream and be relevant. Hey, welcome back, Ben. Glad you're back. I always like it when I'm streaming and people come back and they go, hey, I'm back now. It's like, yes, more people to watch the art. That being said, I would love at some point to just get to, you know, I'm not all about subs. I don't want to be like, I'd love to get like 100,000 and get a silver play button. Just one of the play buttons just to get an achievement. But yeah, it's kind of one of those things where I quite like having a decent community. I want people coming back because they want to be here. I'd rather build the channel up bit by bit, and if I go viral one day, amazing. If I don't, I don't. As long as I've got enough to keep doing this, people enjoy the content, and yeah. Because, let's face it, I'm going to be drawing till the day I die. Long way up in the future, that. I'm just going to be drawing forevermore because it's something I enjoy. I just do it every week. It's relaxing. Absolutely love it. And yeah, it's great fun. And if I could do YouTube full time, I would do it full time. Noxie says SCP as Kaijus. That is an awesome idea. I've got a few ideas for that. Sorry, I'm just adjusting myself in the seat a minute. It points down to this bit here, but mainly it's so you guys can see the iPad. I know some people like to see the actual drawing, you know, happening. So they know, you know, you got the screen recording me talking, but you're actually seeing something happening, which is quite good. And it's kind of nicer for you guys because you don't see me putting my head down every 5 minutes and looking at the top of my head on camera. I need to figure out how to get it the camera at a better angle at some point. Benno says, is that a venomized Planukian behind you? I don't even think I've said that right, so it's lost all its impact. Sorry, Ben. But you also said, no doubt the SCP Foundation was spread across the multiverse. Yes, it would. And in fact, some of the SCPs are in different dimensions. Oh, excuse me, I do apologise. Sneezing there. Came out of nowhere. I am in good health. Nobody worry. I'm just, well, it's probably just got a little bit chillier here. But yes, I do apologise if I just deafened anybody. Ah, okay. Well, that's cool. That makes more sense. I knew it'd be a reference to something. I just couldn't think for the life of me what. Yeah, as much as I love doing these kaijus and the illustrations, this bit is the bit that takes... I kind of skip this on the recording. I don't record this aspect of it on the normal videos, so you don't get me going around the outline of these edges. Yeah, unfortunately we do Beast Productions out of everywhere in the multiverse. We live in one of the worlds where Spider-Man, you know, is fictional. However, that is also part of the multiverse, and the reason there's not that many Spider-Men appearing, or they reckon that they were doing in the whole No Way Home movie, which is actually quite a fair point, is out of all the Spider-Men in the multiverse, not all of them are called Peter Parker. So there's only a handful that are actually Peter Parker. You've got Ben Reilly, you've got May Parker, you've got Gwen Stacy, you've got Jessica Walters, you've got the Uncle Ben as an old guy, you've got Silk, you've got all these other ones. You've got a female version of actual Peter Parker. I can't remember her name, but she's pretty much is the female Peter. So they only need to bring a handful in for that movie to do that, but all the villains could come in, which is quite interesting. Which is a shame they didn't bring in Kraven the Hunter in the actual movie. That would have been awesome. Yes, and we got Miles Morales. Thank you for reminding me of that. I did actually forget him. I was thinking of Into the Spider-Verse, as well for the ones to do, but it's like there's not really many. Yeah, there's only there's only a handful of Peter Parkers. I do like the theory on Venom though, the case where he got transported into it because symbiotes are all connected by this hive mind and it spans across the multiverse, which is quite interesting, and how bit the symbiote got left behind on that little clip, which is quite cool. Let's just double check I've got everywhere on this. Awesome, I think we can start the colouring phase. I think what I might also do is just change the background down a little bit in colour to make it a bit darker, just so that when we add some colours in, it's going to stand out a little bit better. So the base colour for this Heat Blast is going to be a yellowish colour, almost cream. And then I need to do the go for this fun of selecting the bits that need to be the set colours. Hopefully I've done this kind of right for how I want it to go. I don't think I have. I think I've messed something up along here, but we'll find out what happens when I get to link that back up. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. I'll just erase bits out in a second.
Good night, good morning, good evening, whichever it is where you are, Tegan. I forgot what time you said, but thank you for joining the stream, and I will catch you next time. Christopher Day says, wait, that's Venom's seed/kid in the MCU, and he's already had Carnage, so is that Toxin then? Don't know, because the thing about the symbiotes is if they all have memories across the multiverse, then it doesn't even matter what order everything goes in. The order's absolutely irrelevant at this point, because it's a multiverse version of the character that, like Eddie, it's not following the same timeline as the cartoon or the comics as such. So it can follow any individual timeline rather than a set timeline, which is quite cool, but also quite terrifying. Hello, Omen Heart, and welcome to the stream. Glad you could join us. Zenith wants a bean Spider-Man. I might actually just draw that in a Sona video. And a potato Spider-Man. I may have to do a couple of Sona videos. So guys, bear with me a minute. My Oh dear, I didn't plan that out. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Awesome. I didn't have my phone plugged in, so the camera's been going and it's nearly died off. So I was like, ah. But that's fine. I've charged something else up. An omelette Spider-Man. So we're going to have a few Spider-Man symbiotes going, aren't we? Or, you know, a new Spider-Verse Spider-Sonas. Right, I'll try and cover as many of these as possible, but this is a bit of a... The only drawback with this type of character is the intricacy of all these bits where you want it to be solid colours compared to... Let's just pick these up a bit. So we can just do this a bit quicker by... bit of solid painting. I'll check the chat in a second, guys. I'm just focusing on a few of these bits just to try and I don't think I need to do a huge amount for the colouring stage based on this. I just need to get the right structure in and then do the colour gradient stuff to go over the top. I reckon it's going to look pretty cool. Hey, Ronald Cornelius III, welcome to the stream. Glad you could join. Most likely. However, it's probably a weird one to have as a smoothie. So yeah, guys, we're literally working on our HEATBLAST Kaiju, which is based on Rodan. So it's pretty much a fusion of HEATBLAST and Rodan, in essence. It's coming along quite nicely. We're just adding some of the colours before I add some of the gradienty textures into it, and then we'll start looking at, depending on the time at that point, if it's a part 2 or if it's continue for a little bit with some of it. But that's okay, because it's going to be about another 20-30 minutes easy before we get to that point. And it is only like 1 o'clock in the morning here, so it's still early. I'm going to have to say potato because I actually don't like beans. Sorry, Zenith, but I generally don't like beans myself. So, but I love chips and, you know, waffles and that lot. So, well, I love pasta more than that, but, you know, I have to go with what's on the list. So, potatoes. And you cannot send your bean god after me, Zenith. That is not allowed.
I'm not scoffing the name of beans. I just don't like I'm scoffing the bean god though. The bean god changes reality and makes it allowed. Oh, it must be nice being a god. I do find it really interesting how I've got like 3 different styles on the channel. Just throwing it out there. I've got 3 different artwork styles on the channel currently. I've got this style, which will be a combination of the colour and trying to get gradients across the bottom and more of a comic-y style. I've got the style which is quite similar to Pop Cross, where I'm adding more detail and it's still quite cartoony like. And then I've got my digital painting style, where I've done the stuff like the Pokemon ones and stuff in the illustrations, which is quite cool. So it's quite interesting how I've got like 3 different styles on the channel for 3 different types of viewer really. Oh, and I've got the Copic artwork that I used to do on the channel, which I will be bringing back at some point this year, here and there. As I get round to it or get a chance to do it, I did say that I would bring it back from time to time, or I might even just make a second channel for the Copic stuff. Once I've got this channel sorted into where I want it to be in terms of the goals and targets. Because thankfully, once you get into that program once, you don't have to spend forever hunting around to get into it again, chase that 4K watch time. It's only that first 12 months before you get in, and then that's it, job done. Oh, we're talking about food and omelettes and that. I'm not going to read some of the chat because I will start getting hungry. And I'm not actually hungry, I'll just feel hungry. I suppose a good question is, what's everyone's favourite like type of art? Is it more the comic art, digital painting? Just trying to get a feel for what you guys actually like art-wise. I mean, I know you guys want me to do another 8-hour stream, and I would potentially do that tonight, but unfortunately, I do have work at like 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow, and I've got a few meetings I have to be compos mentis on. Which, in really, really simple terms, is I got to be coherent. Which is a bit of a challenge for me at times. Realism art. Yeah, I would love to, but I can't do super realistic art. My cousin, however... Oh my god, his oil paintings are absolutely amazing. I'll have to find out if he's got a YouTube channel or something, because I know he's got an Instagram. I don't know if he's got a YouTube actually. I know he's got a Facebook, but yeah, it's just absolutely insane. He just does it from time to time, and I'd have to say it's... I can't do that. I put my hands up. I generally can't do art to that level of realism. I can get close to some types, but no. 6 minutes into a 3-hour stream. Oh, that's nothing. Yeah, that's nothing being a 3-hour stream craze for a day. I did an 8-hour stream the other day. This is still like early times for me. I'm happy to go to about 4 hours at the most tonight, and then I'll call it a night whatever point we get to, unless I decide that we get to a nice steady point and I just show some art off afterwards. Give a sneak peek of the final production version in the stream of that Riolu. No, I might. I don't know on that one yet. Right, let's see if I can do this in a nice, easy way. I also got a, I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, seen or know the artist Martin Abel, Abel, from Abel Art, and he's got an amazing style, but he's also got does like a fantasy art style. He released a brush set which has got some really cool, and I mean really cool, like brushes, and yeah, I've been using them on the Riolu piece just to add that to the painting brush set, just to give like some lighting effects for magic and aura and stuff, and it works so nicely and it came together such amazingly well. I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. So it's quite interesting to do. But yeah, also if any of you guys are in the chat and you haven't smashed the like button yet, then please do. And also let us know if we're anywhere near that 30 like goal. I don't actually know how many likes we got, but the 20 like goal. If we've got 20 likes, I'm happy to change the goal to be something like 30. But that just completely depends on how many we've got and what's going on. Uno reverse.
Let's have a look a second. Oh, I make it, we haven't actually... That's weird.
How long do you guys have it say that the stream's gone for? I've got it for like it's not even a 3-hour stream yet. According to the YouTube studio. But at the same time, it's like... saying it's been going for 3.5 hours as well, which is really weird. We have been going for about 3.5 hours though, haven't we?
Almost 3 hours. Okay, no, that's fine. It's that's fine. It's right. It must be the way that I'm reading it or something I was comparing to a previous thing. Oh well, not a problem. Let's continue.
Do you know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see an actual decent Ben 10 live film. Just a decent one. I mean, was it Ben 10? Was it Race Against Time or something? It wasn't too bad, but it was still, yeah. It just didn't scream anything good. And then the new style of the cartoon stuff, I'm like, I don't really like it. I've said it on streams before. I don't like the newer cartoon style. The really simple kids, worse than SpongeBob SquarePants style. Right, let's continue with this a minute. See what we can. Anybody else have it where you start drawing something, it's like it's HEATBLAST as a kaiju, however I haven't actually planned out how this kaiju would look at the start. I didn't even take any consideration into what I could do in terms of for HEATBLAST on this, in terms of what type of kaiju could I make him. I just thought we'll figure that out on the stream. Same with all of these actually. Any of my artwork, I don't pre-plan it. The most I plan is what the original phobia for a dragon or original creature is, and get that together, and the lore. I don't actually plan what it's going to look like till I start drawing, and even then I don't even know until it's finished. I'm just wondering if anybody else who, you know, when you're drawing and that, if you're similar to that, or you can draw what you've envisioned beforehand. It's like you know what you want and there you go. Or is it a case of as you're drawing it just changes until you look at something and go, yeah, that looks good? Because I know quite a few of you guys like drawing your own OCs and stuff, so I'm just wondering if you've got a, you know, what approach do you take? Yeah, Beast Productions, you're the same way. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's just a case of when I'm drawing, sometimes you just know as you're drawing and you take a step back and look at it and you're like, yeah, as cool as that is, that doesn't look right. Ah, what? Hard to say, case by case basis. Some characters I already have stuff done for and base further stuff of that. Some I don't. Just do. Yeah, I guess that's a very quite a valid comment there. Sometimes you've got something kind of in mind, or you got something you're basing it off, and it will look a certain way, and you've kind of got that in mind for what you want for these elements. And other times it's like, no, I definitely haven't got a clue for all this. Wow, there is so much to do on this. Oh well, we'll get back to it in a second. Just having to think if there's anything else I need to bear in mind on this design. Sorry, I'm just laughing. I was just reading a bit of the chat. I always find our streams have some of the most randomest comments and elements going that I see. We just end up sacrificing people to the gods or creating gods and stories and just having a good laugh. I love it, and at the same time I look at it and I think, oh my god, what are we on tonight? In a good way, guys. In a completely good way. Do not get me wrong. I think it's absolutely amazing, the creativity and the suggestions and stuff that you guys all come up with. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm going to ask the question to you guys. What is your most favourite series on the channel? So, out of all the series we've done, what's your favourite video or type of videos that we do on the channel? Venomized. Yeah, that's quite good. I haven't done that in a little while, actually, to be honest. I do need to do a Transformer video and a Venomized, so I may pick up a Multiverse Story Arc episode by the end of the month, early Feb. Last time we left off, we had Soundwave versus Grimlock, and it was set up for venomizing some of them. The community redraws, yeah, I do enjoy them. They are my favourite way to end the month or near the end of the month. Sometimes it is stressful trying to do them in time, but they're also the most rewarding ones where I can give back a bit, and at the end of it, if your artwork's selected, I will contact you guys within a couple of days afterwards to a week, and I will send you the high-res final version of your character, just because it's giving back to you guys for A, submitting, and B, supporting the channel, which is always good fun.
Phobia says dragons, also demons. Yeah, no, I do enjoy those ones. Hey Justin, welcome back. Mech Armors or community redraws? Yeah, if you have a look at my, I don't know if you've done it already, if you have a look at the Multiverse Story Arc, and I've basically venomized from Soundwave versus Venom was the very first episode. I venomized Optimus Prime, Hot Rod, She-Hulk, the Fantastic Four, Captain Marvel, Megatron, Doctor Strange, the Predacons. Oh, that's one of my favourite artwork pieces I've got at the end. Is I think I nailed the putting it together at the end, but the Predacons were one of my favourite ones. DC villains, which has got Killer Frost and that. We've got a whole host of other characters that have been venomized in this storyline bit.
and it's absolutely awesome. But going back before that, without any stories, I was venomizing like Wolverine, Starfire, and the Teen Titans, some of the X-Men. I even made Clopzilla, which is turning Cyclops into a kaiju at one point, and turns Wolverine into a kaiju, which is a smaller one. And I think I had another kaiju out of the X-Men. A Colossus was a giant weird turtle one. But yeah, no, in terms of venomizing and that, the multiverse story arc's got a load of them. It's got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles venomized in it, and Shredder, Bebop, Rocksteady, Master Splinter, all 4 of the Turtles. I need to do April O'Neil and Casey. I've got Windblade and some of the other Transformers done. It was absolutely fun coming up with the story, and I can easily come up with the lore for that bit. They're in a giant battle, and even Subnautica creatures venomized got added into that mix. I've got so much going on in that battle. I need to actually continue with Soundwave versus Grimlock, because Grimlock got shot in the back by Optimus Prime with a symbiote in the last one, if I remember rightly. I could be wrong, but if I remember rightly. Justin says, speaking of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I was doing my own design of April O'Neil earlier, not finished though. Oh, that's cool. I do need to do a form of April O'Neil, potentially venomized. She went off in the Channel 6 newscopter, and the Turtles are following suit to go to the desert near Vista Verde, where this entire epic venomized clash between multiple dimensions is happening. Well, it's starting to get there. Still got a fair little bit to do with this armoured design, but it's definitely getting there with what's happening. Although I do think it probably will end up being a case of we'll get the flat colours done and then probably call it a night there, judging by how long this is taking to do these bits, and continue this next Wednesday. So not this Wednesday this week, but next week, either on the Monday or the Wednesday. Not sure which day is going to be good for everybody, but I'll have to just work around whatever day I'm free to do it. Because this is quite intricate, but once I've got some of it done, right, quite cool. My version, she's 20 years old and she trains with the Turtles and she streams the Turtles, but everybody thinks it's a VTuber models. April O'Neil calls her Channel 6. Oh no, Zenith, what do you mean a night? When I say call it a night, I mean when I get to a certain point that's stable, I will stop the stream and continue it another day. It's not at that point yet. We've still got probably about another half hour easy, maybe to an hour, depending on what happens with this bit. I want to get all the flat colours sorted. You're being hyperliteral for a joke. Oh my god, that's telling my brain's collapsing now then. That's yeah, okay, no, fair enough. I mistook that. I do apologise. Let's see what we've got here. I'll hang my head in shame and hide away now, Zenith, it's fine. Yeah, it probably could be. We could knight it in fear of it actually melting any knights down and swords and suits of armour into nothing. I mean, what was that Brotherhood of Knights? Might have just been the Brotherhood in Ben 10. I can't remember the names. They're based on the Knights Templar, I know that much. Just thinking this could be what they battle in this universe. Yes, the Forever Knights. That is it. Thank you for that. Yeah, the Forever Knights could fight this character and be a part of this universe. This could be like a beast kaiju they defend against. I suppose that's the other thing as well. Are these kaijus actually good guy kaijus or bad guy kaijus, like wild beasts, and they just go on instinct? Yeah, no, it's the Forever Knights. I was just thinking, because this one looks a bit like a we've got the giant dinosaur vibe going from it, or the dragon vibe. Dinosaur. That's because we're talking about dinosaurs today. We've got the dragon vibe going for it. Might be quite cool to work through a few bits of this and maybe give it a bit of a story. Because at some point, I'll probably take all of these into speed painting and make some lore out of it. Though it is nice doing live streams because I don't really have to think of lore as such for the characters. I mean, we could come up with some on the spot like we did on a couple of them, but we don't really have to focus on it, if that makes sense. It's a case of, well, if we choose to put a bit of lore in, that'd be great, but it's not really the be-all and end-all of this design. It's just the hanging out, chatting, chilling, and seeing what we come up with. Yeah, I haven't actually thought what it would look like. Some people recommended we do a smaller kaiju for that one, just because it makes a bit more sense for the speed. I don't know, maybe we give it hundreds of legs and make it able to just run super fast because of all the legs. I generally have no idea what it would look like, so it's going to be really interesting. Not that much left to do on the red elements, and then we can put a few gradients on and get this to a stable point. To pick up with quite a fair bit of detail going in. I want to get trying to get the heat from HEATBLAST. So I know we'll have white in there, but that's going to be done by the add layers, so I won't be adding quite such a bright colour into it, but I will be adding stuff like reds and stuff to make it more consistent with the other elements that we've got here.
Hi, Gopher Dude. Welcome. You managed to catch a bit of the stream.
Gopher Dude, what time's good for you on a Wednesday if I stream? Because I know you've been trying to catch some, but you've been a bit busy lately, so... Well, I'm assuming you've been trying to catch some. If not, it's not a problem. I'm just thinking every other week I'm going to be doing a Wednesday stream, so it's going to swap between Mondays and Wednesdays every other week. So next week, the next stream's going to be, to finish this off, it's going to be next Wednesday. Or Wednesdays will be like maybe a digital drawing one next week, and I'll think to finish this one off on the Monday or something. I don't know. Just curious, you know, what time's good for you, because I know you've got things going on. But it's always good having people in the stream or the chat, you know, being able to jump in, and you are one of our most loyal supporters of the channel. You are a fantastic supporter of the channel. You sat down and watched that entire 3-hour episode 1 to 20 of the Multiverse story arc. I mean, dude, you're a legend, so as far as I'm concerned, in our community. Just for that alone. A bit after 3. Is that your time? Because what time is it for you now? Just so I know roughly what time to base it on UK time. Translate that to UK time for me, please. Sometime after 11 for your thing. Okay, no, that's cool. If I start at the usual time then, around 10, it's not going to be too bad then. Or just after 10, because that all should work. Right, so for this now, don't actually want to do anything major other than... start making more sense in a bit, guys. I'm just getting basic. A few basic color light bits in. I'll actually tie this up more with our... I'm just doing quick shadowy bits on there. I will tidy all these up much more later when we do more detail. I just want to get enough of the shadows in to be able to give the impression of where the light is mainly coming from. Oh no, Aaronfold will definitely not stay away from this. I think Aaronfold will be the first one to jump in there saying, if I'm going to get burnt, I'm going to get burnt. Let's go for it, beastie. Although I think Aaronfold will probably be about as big as the toenail down here on it, which would be quite interesting. Crazy for a Day says, hey Dempsey, do you have any character design tips? I've got a couple. When you do character designs, base it on, if you know the personality of the character, base it on that for the emphasis on how you're drawing the design. Usually facial expressions carry more, but also certain colour schemes for clothing and types of clothing are key in your character design. If they're very energetic, also it's the lines. So if they're very energetic, they usually have sharper lines and pointier jaw structure and that. They might be a bit leaner in design as well compared to some of the other bits. You may also find that they're a bit more. It kind of. It's hard to explain. In terms of the character design, you really want to just lean towards the personality and the kind of like genre or what they kind of are into more. So Aaronfeld's a beast hunter, which is great, but his personality is he's always excited when there's a beast. So he's always like, great, loves telling tales about beasts. But that's part of his character design, is his personality emphasizes what he looks like, but he likes to challenge himself. So that's why his armor's not very. It's not bulky armor that will protect him all the time. It's armor that will be like, oh, well, you could actually get wiped out by this beast here, Unfold. And he's like, yeah, well, let's bring it. My old bones, you know, his old bones always after and shaking for a fight with the creatures and that. But also character design also depends on what you want. So if they're a main character or supporting character, so when you see the animes and stuff, the overpowered heroes usually have a really slim physique and don't look like they're powerful, but they're absolutely insane, and that's what people love. And you'd have someone who looks strong and they're huge and bulky like a Hulk. They're super strong, but in comparison to the main character, they get, you know, they can't even lay a finger on them. That's kind of one of the good things for it. And Justin's put, advice for people who struggle on character design is pay attention on the shape language depending on what shape. You've got to tell us a lot about your character. Yeah, so as we're just saying, it all depends on what you're going to do. If also it's a silhouette, so look up character design, you know, making characters stand out with silhouettes. It sounds a bit daft, but if I was to, I'll show you in a second actually on this. I'll show you shortly on this actually, so just give me a minute to sort this last little bit of detail out, and then I will show you afterwards with this character a little bit. It's going to be more, but I'll put a texture on top, and then I will... We're nearly at the end of doing all this texturing bit and stuff for this one tonight, so... And this is more just for my... give a bit more depth into the light and shading aspect of the character here. But yeah, the silhouette tells a lot, so I know you know this is like a HEATBLAST dragon and that, so try and bear that in mind. But if I was to put that over the top and just turn that pure black, you know that's some kind of monster, potentially fire. And the silhouette, the shape language says like it's fiery, it's bold, it's energetic to a degree, it's probably rocky or it's rough, it's not smooth. Whereas if I was to take the shape language of another kaiju that we've got, let me just delete that layer because that's where we've got to so far in this one, and that's where we're stopping. But if we took it from the this kaiju, and we take the if I can add another layer of that, it's going to complain. 2 seconds, guys. That's fine. So if I added another layer and I just select that layer, oh wow, sorry, it just looks quite cool. And then we just, oh, I didn't want to fill that layer, hang on, that's why. Color fill off. So select that layer, go on to the next one, and then fill that above. We're still going to get the same effect. What I mean is, when you're talking about shape language, again, that silhouette, you clearly know that that's a beast of some kind on all fours and something. So for character design, the shape language is very crucial. If it's more curved on your silhouette, it's softer, and if it's more sharp and jagged, it's, you'd think it's blades or something. You wouldn't know it's crystals at that point, if that makes sense. But you can have so much fun with all the silhouettes and stuff. But yeah, that's but that's the idea of the shape language, and where you've got some aspects that are curved, for example, when you do it, they look more softer and nicer in view, if that makes sense. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this one here. I know I need to do a bit more stuff on the kaiju and stuff, but we've been going for about 3.5 hours now, and it's nearly 2 o'clock. It's 10 to 2 over here. I'm going to call it a night and stop it at this point here, so we've got this nice structured bit, and then we'll add a lot of detail in the next one in terms of extra bits of the larvae technique and the lighting and shades and the background and stuff in for the next live stream. Potentially this might be done on Monday next week before it's before Wednesday, depending if I'm doing a digital piece next Wednesday, but I will make sure to put that out, so be sure to keep an eye out on the channel community tab and turn on notification bell for when it actually gets published if you want to see it more. But thank you all for joining the stream, and good night, Beast Productions. Anyone else who's here as well, thank you for joining, and again, good night. I hope you have, or afternoon, or whichever it is. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and I will catch up with you next time.